What's up, everybody? This is your man, DJ Square, not from the DJ Information Group. And check it out, y'all. We got a legend in the house. One of the two females from back in the day, the two female DJs out of New York that was totally setting the standards, setting it all for every DJ to follow them, all the female DJs to follow them. Who am I talking about? This particular DJ, DJ Lady Love. What's going on?
What's up? And thank you for that intro. That was just really, really nice. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So, like I say, we got, and we're, it's an honor to have both of y'all here today. So we can't get any better than this right here, but
My
we are,
Shiro, baby
yes,
D. My
yes.
Shiro right
And that's exactly why I bring that in
there.
there because I looked at your bios and I looked at some of your interviews and some of the things that you said. And one of the first questions that you said is, I'm gonna say one of the questions was is who inspired you? And you consistently, you consistently mentioned this young lady that you saw who came out of the BX, and she was like your inspiration, and she just
Yes.
she just really inspired you to get on the wheels of stills down in Queens. Although, from my understanding, you were born in the BX
Yep.
and you were then taken to Queens where you were raised.
Yep.
You became that the first female DJ in Queens.
And
That
at first I was like, I don't know, but Ralph McDaniels put together a timeline, and
mm,
he confirmed once he confirmed it for me. I had my story. I knew, what was going on, but it wasn't confirmed. So
mm,
when Ralph McDaniels put the hip hop thing together, he confirmed it. So now I'll say yes, you're right, because
cool
Ralph
beans.
McDaniels confirmed it for me.
So, and your inspiration, your Shiro that we talk about is DJ Baby D of the
Yes,
Mercedes Ladies. And
yes.
of course, she will definitely be tapping in and chiming in and asking you a question or two. And I'm quite sure you guys have a lot to talk about over the years of just being able to knowing each other and collabing and doing whatever else. So we'll definitely look forward to that because this right here is what this group is all about. This group is about teaching, learning, sharing, and uplifting the members and uplifting the culture and continuing to tap into the history, and we got history in here today. So we appreciate you being here
Thank you so
and
much.
accepting us and accepting the invitations for sure. BB
Thank
put in some work on it as always. And she was like, you know what? I got to get in contact with DJ Lady Love. And I guess when she talked to you, just as a circle around to the whole thing, by that time, I guess DJ Baby D had also reached out to you as well. So there was no way we were going to not get you today.
you. Look, I would have did it anyway, but when Baby D, I was like, what? Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, so
So,
we appreciate that. So for um I did a lot of research on it as I always do because I know I'm going to be having a conversation with you. Plus, the history as it relates to the culture of hip hop. Um, I don't consider myself an expert, but I know a lot because I was back there during those times. Back in 1979, 78, 79. I
mhm,
remember back in the day having to carry them 25, 30-pound crates of records,
yeah.
all of that,
See, I was a female, so the dudes would carry that for me.
Yes,
So,
yes. So, but can you can you enlighten us? Tell us who DJ Lady Love is. Tell us all about yourself so that we get a good picture of who you are. And and we already know what started you got you inspired, but
okay.
take that whole realm there.
Well, I mean, my mother gave me my love of music because my mother played music all the time. We had that wooden box stereo and everything, and I couldn't touch it. Finally, she let me play it, play on it. I would stack them 45s and put them in the order. I got so good. Every weekend, my family would have parties in the Bronx, 390 Jackson Avenue. We had a apartment on the second floor and apartment on the fourth floor. It was my job to keep the music going. At
Mhm.
8 years old, I was running up and down the stairs, stacking it, going back upstairs, stacking it for them. And that allowed me, it was pre-training for putting music together. To me, it became like a puzzle, like what would go after this? So what would I play next? So that's where I got that beginning love. Then growing up, my cousins, they were DJs. And so I would have to, in order for them to let me get on their sets, they were disco DJs. Hip hop wasn't, I didn't know nothing about hip hop yet. And they only had one record of each. I would wash dishes, clean their apartment, do whatever for an hour just to get on the turntables. So music became my life, my savior. It was like music was everything to me. You couldn't tell me nothing about music because as a kid, I'm introverted. This right here is hard for me. I'm a very introverted person, so I really didn't have that many friends, but I had the music. My mother gave me a little portable radio, and I would sleep with that under my pillow, listening to WWRL and WABC and those stations like that. And I would take my little portable radio outside. How I got friends, I would bring my 45s, my little portable thing, and start playing the music. My friends would come, people would come over and start dancing. That's that's where my love began. And it never died. It was, I think that if I didn't have music in the way that I had, I would have been a totally different person back then. The music saved me from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And one night I was invited to a party. It was a basement party. And when I get there, I'm going down the stairs and the DJ was in the corner because that was the only light. And I walk in, he was playing Apache. I didn't know what it was at the time. So I go, I hear this, and I'm like, that, So I go and I stand in front of him like this. He was doing two records of cutting back and forth. And I was like, oh my God. And I just stood there. And I stayed there the whole night. I didn't dance, I didn't do nothing. I just stood there. And he was like, you sick or something? I'm like, no, I want to know how to do that. And he was like, you sure? I said, yeah, I want to know how to do that. And he was like, well, come to my house after school tomorrow and I'll show you. That dude was Davy DMX.
Mhm.
And he did that. He had that song, One for the Trouble. Now he plays a Public Enemy. But at that time, he was just Davy D. He wasn't Davy DMX. And I would go to his house. There was a bunch of people there every day after school. Hurricane, who became the DJ for the Beastie Boys, he was down there. The rest of the group became the Afros later on. And that's where I got my start. He taught me how to cut Apache. He just taught me how to do a lot of stuff. And he just opened a whole different world for me. That door just, I kicked it through. Like Biggie said, kicking the door, I kicked my foot through that door. And the clubs in Queens, they started doing the hip hop. And it wasn't called hip hop back then, but they started doing it with the DJs cutting and the DJs doing the breaks and the B-boys and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
And I found out about this club called the Fantasia. And my name was DJ Sexy at the time. I thought that was so cute, up DJ Sexy. So I found this club, the Fantasia, where everybody used to go. Flash and them used to come out there and play and everything. Everybody used to go to this one club. So I met the guy, Woody Wood, DJ Woody Wood. He's tried to be like Hollywood. He did all the Hollywood stuff. But he let me play. He gave me my first shot, my first thing in front of an audience. I had never played in front of anybody before. And I had flyers with my name on it. I'm all happy, da 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 da. And my first time ever playing in front of people, I messed up. I threw off too hard and the needle went across the record and everybody was laughing at me and stuff. And I was just like, I can't go back to school with doing this like that. They're gonna clown me. So I kept going. By the time I was finished, they was ah! So Woody was like, I'm gonna put you on, but I can't put you on with that name. I was like, why? He was like, no, you gotta think of another name and I'll put you on the flyer next week. I couldn't come up with nothing. So we go outside. He's smoking a cigarette. A boat rolls down Merrick Boulevard on the back of this truck, and the name of the boat was Lady Love. He goes, "That's your name." I hated that name. Hated it. Okay? Hated it. I didn't grow to like the name until I came back in 2010. But the rest of the time, I could not stand DJ Lady Love. But I
You
grew
know,
into it.
that's really, I'm glad you confirmed that, because I read that somewhere that your name literally was picked off the side of a boat. And I
Yeah.
was like, because you know how you read something sometimes,
Hmm.
and you can't really take it for what it is. So
True.
I'm really glad that you confirmed that.
True. And at the time, Lou Rawls had a song out called Lady Love. And I hated it, okay? Because of that name, I hated it. And I was at Chuck D's house a couple of years ago, and he was just like, "You need to do stuff with that Lady Love name." I was like, "I can't stand that name, Chuck. No." I said, let's take a picture before I go. He's like, "Okay, let me go get my hat." So I'm like, "What's taking him so long?" He comes out the room blasting is that goddamn Lou Rawls Lady Love song. And he was just like, "See?" And I'm like, "You know what?" And he was like, "You got to embrace it." He said, "If you don't like your name, other people will feel that. And you don't want that." And so I started embracing the DJ Lady Love name. All because of Chuck D.
Cool beans. Well,
So
I got something I want to share with you as you speak about Woody Wood and putting you on a flyer. I want to show you something. Do you remember that?
yeah, I have that. Yes. Oh my God. That was in Connecticut. That we
Yeah.
played in Connecticut. And that was, I think, in 80, or yeah, that was in
19,
80.
April 6th, 1980.
That was where the Treacherous Three, it was the Treacherous, we were all on a bus going up to this. Spoonie G, the Treacherous Three, all of us was on the same bus. And I was sitting next to Special K. And so he said, "Oh, you a DJ?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "So who's going to MC for you?" I said, "I don't know. Woody is doing his own thing, so I don't have an MC." He was like, "I'll do it." And I was like, "What?" So the only recording that I have of me playing live is me playing with Special K as my MC.
Hmm.
And we always talk about that because he was like, "I never played for another female MC but you." And at the time, for me to have Special K as my MC, it was like big. It was like, so the dudes that was there, I'm not gonna call their names out. They didn't want to MC for me. They was like, "No, go ahead. You got it. You got it." One Special K went up there and MC with me. We rocked it. Now they want, when Special K left, now they wanted to get on the mic too and rock for me. But Special K set that off for me.
Cool
And I
beans.
definitely, always to this day, I will play that recording forever. I didn't know it existed. So all of this time, I didn't know there was a recording of me. And about 2010, somebody was like, "You on this website with your recording." I'm like, "For real?" And I played it and I started crying because I was just like, I didn't know that there was anything of me recorded. And at one point I started to feel like none of this really happened because I had nothing to show. I had my flyers, but I had nothing recorded to show that, yeah, I could play.
Hmm.
And then when the person sent me that, yeah, that was like eye opening. That right there was that was the first time somebody asked me for my autograph at that jam right there.
Cool beans.
So
So, and I was just going to ask about that, and you know what, you do really good with the segues. I have to tell you that, because I was getting ready to say, in terms of, because like you were saying, where you didn't have the recordings and all those different things, but um take us back to the first time, did you, with park jams and things of that nature, were you ever in any of those?
yeah, I mean, Queens was wide open. There was park jams every Run DMC before they was Run DMC. Used to do park jams and stuff. We would run into at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We would run into Run when he was the son of Curtis Blow, and we would run into them at White Castle. Everybody always ended up on the weekend, on Friday or Saturday at the White Castle on Hollis Avenue. So Run would be in there, Curtis Blow would be in there, me, Woody, Dave, everybody would be in there. It was like, it was just this collection of people, and wherever there was a jam, if they knew you, you could get on. It was hard for me at first because I was a female, but once they realized that I could play, I didn't have a problem.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
And
we
that
did a
leads
whole
into
lot
the
of
next
stuff in the
one.
parks. 205th Park. It was a couple of parks in Queens that there was always something going on. It was either Infinity Machine, Divine Sound. It was a lot of Furlough and Company. It was a lot of DJs in Queens that had huge sets. So they was always playing in the park.
Cool beans, cool beans. So and that goes again to the next one where um you as the female, you as that first female in Queens, the only female DJ at that particular time, and you're around all your counterparts, but they're all male. Um,
Yep.
when you went out on the set, did you always have to feel like had to prove yourself, or had
Yep.
you already gained that respect?
It was always, no matter what. Like I made sure I bought my own records so I wouldn't have to act. Because it was like I had to be 150% on my game or I wasn't taken seriously. So everything I had to do was an effort. I had to make sure. And I didn't have, at that time, I didn't have my own set.
Mm.
So I would just go to different people's house who would let me practice on their sets. And so I always had to come in ready, always. I couldn't go and be like, yo, you got this or you got that. Cause back then everybody put covered the label of what the record was and all of that. So I had to have my own stuff and I had to bring my own needles and I had to bring my own headphones. When other dudes would just come and be like, yo, let me get there to the drummer's beat or let me get that. I couldn't do that. Cause they would
Mm.
look at me like, you ain't even got your own stuff. So
Hmm.
yes, I did. And
Nice.
that was like the hardest part, but it made it so where I could go and play anywhere and not worry about it. I remember I played in Long Island at the Roosevelt roller skating ring. Baby D was on the flyer with me. We were the only two females on that flyer with Theodore, Flash, all of these people. We were the only two females. And I was playing, and when I got off, I turned around. It was Jazzy J and Bam Bada. And Bam said to me, if you ever want to play at the T Connection, just let me know. And the T Connection was big in the Bronx at that time, and I had never been there. And I was like, you ain't saying nothing but a word. I'll be there next week. And so I went the next week. I had my records and everything. And the DJ booth was up in the air on this rickety thing. And I played, and Bam was like, you want to come back again? And I played there again. And I remember for me at the time, that was the biggest thing for me to say I played at the T. Because at the time, the T Connection was it. That was the spot. And so for me to be able to say that I did that, that was big for me. Because not too many female DJs got to play at the T Connection.
That's pretty dope there. So when you as you move forth, because we know who was a big inspiration to DJ Baby D, and then of course DJ Davey DMX. You
Yep.
saw him and you were like, and you know what? You I chuckled a little bit because you did the typical stance of like when you were like, when you were wanting to be a DJ, you would
Hmm.
anybody who was really interested in being a DJ or wanted to be part of the crew, they always stood with their arms crossed.
I used to do that to Flash. Like the first time I saw Flash, I was like, I couldn't catch my breath. I could not believe he came to the Fantasia and the power had went out. So him and Mel, he did the beatbox, and like for 2 hours, him and Melly Mel was just going back, and I was like, oh my God. So Flash became like this. Oh my God. So he would be in Brooklyn. I would be there like this. He would be in the Bronx. I would be there like this. He would be in Queens. I would be there like this. It
Yeah.
was like, wasn't you just at the thing in Brooklyn? I was like, yep. He was like, well, wasn't, yep. I said, I want to do this and I want to do this well. I wanted to be Flash. I wanted to be Tony Tone from the Cold Crush. I, wherever everybody was at, that's where I was at. And I was just like this,
Mhm.
watching, just watching.
That was that
So
thing. That was I think that was kind of like the subliminal code to I'm interested and I want
exactly,
it down.
exactly. I
You know,
didn't dance. I was just like this.
yes. So when you did that, I just chuckled about that. It took back memories of me as well. So when I was young boy, just standing in there carrying crates, and then I wanted to always be part of the crew or wanted to look like I was part of the crew. So I'm standing there with my arms done. But I got something else I want to share with you now that you mentioned that. I want you to take a look at
Okay.
this.
That's the only flyer that me and Baby D, there's Lady Love, and then you see Baby D. We the only females on that flyer.
Hmm. That is correct.
That's it. It was just me and her.
Yes, yes.
And that flyer right there, I made it into a big poster because Baby D was the epitome to me. So for me to be on a flyer with her at that time was like the highlight of, I have that original flyer because I was like, this right here, I'm on the same flyer. I didn't think about being on the flyer with Flash and Curtis Blow and all of them. It was, I'm on the same flyer as Baby D.
That's a
So
beautiful thing.
that was like the epitome for me.
That's
I
beautiful.
don't understand. That's my girl right there. Because like I said, when I was playing, it was hard because, like I said, the dudes, they didn't want to pay me or stuff like that. And I was really about to quit. And then I saw her in the Mercedes ladies, and I was like, it's a whole female group. Are you kidding me? And I was like, it's just me. I could do this. I could continue to do this. And that's what I did. So she's always been my inspiration.
Cool beans. Well, that is really tight, and it's really good to have her here as well.
Yes.
And when we were talking um, during the kind of the pre-show,
Hmm.
um, there was a couple things. Of course, like I said, I mentioned that you grew up in the B. I'm gonna say you were born in the BX, but then you were raised in Queens.
I moved out of the Bronx when I was 12
12.
to
Okay. So you
Queens.
had a little bit of upbringing in the Bronx. So you were definitely
Yeah. I
streetwise
lived
to
on
everything that
Davidson.
was
I
going
lived on
on. And
20. I
yeah,
lived on Davidson Avenue in the Bronx,
cool, cool.
Burnside.
Yes. So and then of course, you just share with us that recently you left New York and now you are in
I'm
Washington
in
State.
Tacoma. Yep.
Yes.
I love it out here. It's
Cool,
beautiful.
cool
And
being.
it's wide open. They love hip hop out here.
What?
So especially that classic, they love it out here. So
That opens the market up for you. I take it.
yes, once this COVID thing goes away, and I can reach out and do all of that. But what I'm doing now is since I have my radio station, I give out flyers and stuff and ask the barber shops and stuff to put up my flyers in their shops and stuff. So I'm still doing it, but just a different way.
Cool beans. And we started talking about something in old school as it related to equipment, because of course, it was known that very much back in the day, if you didn't, if you had to at some point back in those days, you would, as a DJ, you would definitely come in contact with a set of 1200s, Technique
Yeah.
1200 at some point. And
I Well, I don't know if there was 1200s when I started. I think the most DJs had the SL 210s, and then the 1200s came along later.
came along later, exactly. But but back then, of course, you had those belt driven joints.
Yep, the SL 210.
Yeah. And those belt driven joints, I was like, a lot of DJs we've had conversations about, were truly a pain in the behind.
Yes,
And
but
and
you know what? the craziness with it was, even though they were a pain in the behind, because they were like the first ones that I've learned on, I didn't realize it until later how much a pain it was until I played on something else.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, they were great to me. And then, like you said, the 1200s and all that. Then it was, first it was the ones with the thick platter, about this thick.
Yeah.
And so once I started playing on other stuff, because I would play at practice at the Disco Twins house sometimes. So once I started playing on something else, that's when I realized that them belt driven turntables was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
When I was learning, I didn't know. I just thought that's how it was.
Yeah. And the thing that got me the most when I would play on them, and my brother will confirm this, I used to get really upset because of that doggone belt. That
God
belt
damn.
would stretch and it would be something else. So in the crowd, if you could automatically identify the DJs, because the DJs would always be walking around, like you said,
With the rubber
with
band.
those thick rubber bands. So
Yep.
so that we could go ahead on, and if the belt
Party didn't
popped,
stop. That's right. The party didn't stop because the belt popped.
that was it. That was the deal back in the day. And when you mentioned that, that just brought back so many memories. And I was like, wow, you know,
Dave, Davey taught me that. He was like, even if we ain't at no gig, you need to have them rubber bands on in case we do get a gig. So I used to walk around with the rubber bands on my wrist all the time, all the time.
mm-hmm. Yeah, literally, you could walk through. I grew up in East New York. You could walk through East New York and Bed-Stuy, and you could tell the DJs who was a DJ and who was not, because the DJs always had rubber bands on their wrists. And it was always
Yep,
those little thick rubber bands about the size, just enough size, the same size as the Technique belts, or
yep,
those belts for the turntables. Um,
yep.
and you could tell
Davey taught me how to take it off and put that on, and he was like,
Mhm.
"You got to know how to do everything if you're doing parties."
Yep, yep. I remember that. Remember that back in the
Putting
day.
the putting the
Little,
nickel on top of the needle to make it
yeah,
heavier and all of that stuff.
yep. Those were the days. Those
Yep.
definitely were the days. So I definitely want to, before I turn it over to the panel. You also mentioned about the radio show. Um, so tell us about your radio show and your station.
Okay. So my station is djladylove.fm, and I play mostly everything that's going on the station, whether it's promotion, program directing, all of that is done by me, CEO, DJ Lady Love. I put it all together, I do it all myself. So the music that I have, is classic hip hop, true school, R&B. You might hear some salsa, you might hear some reggae. It's long. If you're a music lover, my station is definitely for you. Now, I've been doing it for 3 years. Actually, October 23rd was my third year anniversary, and this year we're on Roku TV. So I love that. I could lay in my bed and turn the TV on and listen to my station. I listen to my own station. That's right. So I also have a show. I have an Apple podcast, which is called The Pink Panty Show with DJ Lady Love. And when I tell people the name of my show is The Pink Panty Show, it's a mix show. Or I mix and everything. You got to come with your glasses, whether you got water, juice, whatever. I don't care. But we start off that show. You got to toast it up. And the reason I call it the Pink Panty Show is because the pink panty is one of my favorite drinks. So when I tell people, oh, I have a show called the Pink Panty Show, what? Like, why is that? Because the pink panty is my favorite drink. And the show was about different things, but it's mainly music. So that's my show, the Pink Panty Show. And the Pink Panty Show is under the umbrella of Pink Panty Productions, which includes my radio station and my show.
Cool beans. Just making some notes here. So,
Oh, and for any DJ out there, if you want to hear your mixes on my station, or Saturdays, I usually play a lot of mixes like Red Alert. I love Red Alert. Whenever he does something, he'll hit me up, Lady Love, I got another mix for you. I'm like, thank you so much. I got Doo-Wop. Doo-Wop sent me his whole collection. Mel Starr sends me mixes. I got people that when I first started, brand new DJs, and they would rock, and people love them. I got DJs now. My show is international. I mean, my station is international. You got people from Japan, from Germany, from Spain, from Switzerland, from Australia. All these people tune in like at different times of the day. I got people that will tune in from Friday till Sunday
Hmm.
to listen to the station. So the station is not just local, it's international. And I got definitely people that really started out fresh, and they would send me mixes. I always listen because I can't have no whack mixes playing on my station. So they send me mixes, I listen, and then I play. And then they end up, people request them, you know, when is such and such playing back on? When is such and such going to be on? So what I do is I give them their own show. I have Professor G, he does gospel. So on Sundays, I have a gospel show, and then he does like the Power of Love on Wednesdays. So they build up their own audience
Mm.
just from people listening to them and liking what they play. So it's not about being selfish. That's why I started the station, because I was like, and I don't charge people. Okay, if you're good and you bring an audience to the station, I don't charge you. So the station is done out of love, my love for music. And everybody's always like, oh, you should charge them, or you should do this, or you should do that. But I'm doing it because I want to do this and I love it. So at any moment, you can hear anything on my station.
Cool.
So I have the Cheryl Underwood show. Cause she has her own show. So I have, I'm part of the Cheryl Underwood affiliates. So I
Mhm.
get her show all the time. I don't play it all the time, but I get it every day. They send me a show.
Cool beans.
Oh, that's it. I put a lot of work into this station, like 3 years worth of work.
I can definitely tell.
And
And definitely tell,
yeah,
and I can tell that you really enjoy it.
I
Uh,
do.
and you're able to tap into the market that you just spoke about. I know that when this pandemic does finish, you will definitely flourish
Yeah, I
beyond
always,
anything that you could ever expect.
the music for me was always, this was something that nobody could take away from me. Like when I was playing back in the day in 1981, I just quit and walked away. I didn't look back. I just quit because I felt at the time like I was getting played. I would do shows and stuff, and then the promoter would be like, "Oh, we didn't make that much money." And I see it's a crowd full of people. Like, how you saying you didn't make that much money? And then it was always something. It was so hard being a woman DJ at that time. Like, it's different. The atmosphere is totally different now than it was back then. You mean like now you got schools and all of this stuff. There was no schools to teach me how to do the stuff that I learned how to do. I had to learn that on my own. Dave taught me a lot of stuff, but there was like no Scratch Academy or something where you could go and you could learn. There wasn't that. There wasn't the technology that they have today. I had to learn everything that I did on my own. So it started to get crazy, and I was just like, that's it. I don't want to do this no more. The craziness is I did that in 1981 and everything started blowing up like right after that. So it was just like, are you serious now? I had moved my family to Atlanta and everything. And I was just like, even though I quit, I still had my ear to everything that was going on. So it just was crazy for me. So in 2010, I decided that, you know what, let's give this a try again. And I started from scratch. I didn't have no equipment. I actually got my equipment from Grandmaster Caz because I'm down with GMC Entertainment. And I was his first female DJ on his entertainment company. So I remember I used to ask for he said, I'm looking for a female DJ. I was like, me, I'm ready. He's like, okay, send me something. So I was saying, he was like, no, you're not ready. I go back and I practice. I'd be mad, like, God damn. Send him another CD. Nah, you ain't ready yet. I was like, are you serious? So one day he called me during the park jam season. He said, you coming to the park? It was Crotona Park. He said, you coming to the park? I said, yeah, I'm gonna be there. He said, okay, I'm gonna see you at the park. I get to the park and he gives me my GMC vest and he's like, welcome to the family. You finally did it. I was like, oh my God. Look, it was so crazy. And my dream was to play at Crotona Park. And right before I left New York, August 29th, I got to play it at Crotona Park. I was like, I'm leaving on a high note because I wanted to play Crotona since I did started to come back and it finally happened. So and I played 4 Zulu Nation anniversaries. Rest in peace to Lord Yoda X, because I followed him around with my CD. Yoda, I want to play Zulu Nation. Duh. Yoda, I want to play Zulu Nation. Duh. Finally, I got the call and I did 4 years in a row.
Cool beans. Yeah, I saw a video where you had mentioned at that particular time it was 3. Cool.
Yep.
So that's awesome. That is really awesome. Well, of course, we've reached a time to where I need to tap into and allow the others who are on this panel, give them a chance to be able to chat with you, because I don't want to feel like I'm being selfish, because believe me, I want to be, because I'm really enjoying talking to you.
Thank you.
But I want to go ahead on and definitely give the DJ panel an opportunity. And like I say, I can't wait for Joe Storm. So this is going to be real good.
Okay, Joe, what you want to know?
But we're gonna go before we move over to Joe Storm. I'm gonna go ahead on and take it to the primary, the founder of the group, primary admin DJ Rod Flash, who, like I say, he had that vision, and he brought a few of us along with him to create this group, and we can truly say that we've been successful at achieving what his vision was definitely out to be. So.
Okay.
DJ Rod Flash. We're gonna go ahead on and let you come on in there, bro.
Salute to you. Thanks for being a legend that you are. I got actually 2 questions. I make stuff simple.
Okay.
Um, you mentioned, and I keep hearing his name, Grandmaster Flash.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice my name is Rod Flash. That was like an idol, a DJ idol to me. But how was it growing up with him, and what's some of the stuff you learned or took from that?
Oh my God. Like, Flash was amazing before there was amazing. Like, him, he could do his set with the MCs or without. He was just Flash. And watching him do the stuff behind his back, and I knew I couldn't do that, so I didn't even try. I just watched Flash. Watching him do the beatbox. One time, he had played, like I said, at the Fantasia in Queens, and he was leaving, him and Melly Mel, and they were getting on the bus to go to the subway. Me and my cousin got on the bus because I was infatuated. We got on the bus. I sat across and we was just sitting there. They got on the train. We got on the train. My cousin is like, "What are we doing? Where are you going?" I couldn't speak to him because it was Flash. I couldn't say nothing. So we got off the train. She was like, "Why did we just do that?" I was like, I didn't have the nerve. Flash was like a god to me. Like, he could just amaze the crowd. Like I said, him and Melly Mel did a set because there was no power, and they put on the beatbox for 2 hours. I was just like, oh my God. Flash for me is the epitome of what a DJ was back then. He still is now, but back then he was the epitome, and he was like a DJ god. I knew I could never be like him, but that's all right. I was near him. So that was good enough for me. I remember a couple of years ago, he was at the jam at a party, and I seen him. So I went up to him and I was like, "Can I take a picture?" All timid and stuff. He was like, "DJ Lady Love, you think I don't remember you?" And I was like, "You do?" He don't know. He made my night that night, because To have Flash to be like he remembered me, I couldn't even talk. I was just like have this stupid little smile on my face, like okay. So that man, I love Flash.
I wish I did have took up that game of knowledge that you have achieved. But I got another question. What would be your, I ain't gonna say five, three records to mix?
Depends on what kind of party I was doing. Like if I was doing like a
He's talking
Zulu
about old
Nation or
school back in the day, cutting and scratching.
cutting Apache, Dance to the Drummers beat, and Daisy Lady. Because I could get that. So those would be my top three right there.
I love breakbeat, so I can feel it.
Yes,
Thanks.
that's how I started. I didn't play. I started cutting break beats. I didn't start with R&B or this and that. I started with break beats. That's what Dave taught me. So that's where I got my start at, with break beats.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate you.
No problem. Oh, you know what else I wanted to say?
Sure.
My timeline, I always underestimate myself as far as what contributions I've done to this hip hop and everything. The one thing that I can say that I am so proud of, and like I said, I thank Ralph McDaniels. My picture was on the wall throughout the Queens libraries, and I was the only female DJ that was up on this wall, and it was in the Queens Public Library. It was in Astoria Public Library. Ralph just had this whole thing going on, and every time I went, just to see my picture up on the wall in a library was just the epitome of what this all represented to me. And I definitely, Ralph McDaniels did the thing.
Cool
So,
beans.
but I have to say also, there was one other DJ. Her name was Spinderella, and not the Spinderella from Salt and Pepper. She was the original Spinderella, but she left. Like she came in after I came in. We was actually supposed to battle, and then she just disappeared. But I always, when I do interviews, I always mention her because she was there for a short time. She definitely was, but she was the original Spinderella, and I think she was from Brooklyn.
Cool beans. That's all right there. You know, and what I really like is when these museums do, or they have your photo up there, and they are letting that history be there. They are letting these generations now know whose shoulders they're really standing on.
Right.
So I really enjoy the fact of that, and they're being able to recognize the greats and these legends like yourself and Baby D, you know, and so many others who really paved the way for us, and they really set the standard and you know that foundation. You know what I mean? So salute to you for that as well. You know.
I did. I did a documentary, and they was doing a thing about hip hop and stuff. And the interview took place at the Scratch Academy, and I met a young woman, and her name was DJ Kim Possible. I don't think she DJ no more, but she was just like, it's a big difference now. Like I was saying before, where you have a school where you can go and learn how to do these things. And back then there was no school. Like maybe Theodore might teach you something, or if you were friends with Flash, maybe they might teach you something. But it was really, as far as a female, you were basically on your own doing this unless you knew somebody that that would help you without wanting to have sex or whatever. That was a big thing too. So it was eye-opening, and I'm like, you know what, if this was here when I was growing up, this would have been amazing. It would have been amazing. And so even now, like I watch all these new female DJs, and I'm like so proud. I'm like, look at this shit, because I remember when it wasn't as open as it is now to women. And it is just an honor, and it's amazing to watch these young girls do this.
Mhm.
And I'm so happy for them.
Cool beans, cool beans. I got something else I want to share with you. I'm getting some
Oh,
good
okay.
stuff. You've been a great segue conversation this time. So you see that?
Yes, we did that. We did that. That was amazing because they had us on a panel and the library was crowded and my picture was on the wall. And I was just like, this to be surrounded by other women in hip hop. And it was amazing. It definitely was amazing. Ralph McDaniels is an amazing person. And he puts together some things like I like I said, I always question my own part of this and my own where I fit in this thing we call hip hop. I used to always question it because I felt like when I left in 81, I gave up my position to say anything. So it for somebody to go back and show me, no, you did have a part in this. You were there. I was there. I would travel from Queens to the Bronx by myself just to go to park jams, just to go to this different one. I would try to get my little girlfriends to go with me. Nobody wanted to go. I didn't care. I would go to the Ecstasy Garage and all these places in the Bronx, the T Connection, the Disco Fever, all of that by myself. Cause that it was like a drug for me. That scene was like a drug and I couldn't get enough. I couldn't get enough of it.
Cool beans.
So, and I'm still here.
Yes. And doing your thing and enabling providing a platform to help others if you really
Yeah.
think about it, because
And
your
I
studio
think
shows
that's why I do that. Right. That's why I do that. I don't want you to pay me money for it. I want you to grow. I want you to get out there and do your thing.
Right.
So there's no like nothing to hold you back. The craziness is I can't get that many female DJs to submit. I have one DJ, Lacey T. Man, she is amazing. She's amazing. So I have her. She gave me a mix, but for some reason, female DJs, I'm trying to like, come on, y'all, let's get this together. The dudes will give me these mixes like crazy. Lady Love, I got something for you. Lady Love, I got something for you. But I don't have that same thing with the females. So
Cool
that's
beans.
what I'm trying to
Well, you
get
know
now.
what?
So once DJ Big Body give me her mix, I'm ready. I'm ready for her.
Yes. And
Check your email.
Okay,
that pulls,
gotcha.
that pulls us into the next segue because she's next on deck. DJ
Oh,
Big
suck
Body.
it.
Hey.
What's up? What's up?
I only have about two questions, that's all. One question is, what were some of your challenges as a female DJ? Whether you have them now or you had them back then, what's challenging?
Not being taken seriously enough. That was the
Okay.
biggest. I always have to. A dude could make a little mistake and keep on going. Let me make a little mistake. Oh my God. Oh, you see, she messed up right
Mm-hmm.
there. It's like it's more on us than it is on them. And a dude could gain weight and be 100 and they think that all the DJs are supposed to be women DJs are supposed to be sexy. I'm not sexy. I'm big and I don't mind. But I've had somebody tell me, "Oh, you need to lose some weight if you want to do this." Yes. Yes, I guess I wasn't, you
Hmm.
know. So that it's just it's always the women always have to prove themselves 10 times harder than the men. Always. So in order for me to get around that, I had to
Definitely.
be better. I had to be better. So I don't look at all of that stuff anymore because now, I mean, back then I didn't have as much confidence in myself as I do now. I always questioned everything that I did. Like, did I get that cut? Was that cut tight enough? Was that scratch? I don't do that anymore. If it wasn't, oh well, the music is still playing and people are still dancing. And to me, that's what a DJ is supposed to do. long as you got that crowd dancing,
Right.
it shouldn't matter
Right.
about anything else. But it did. Believe me, it did.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter too much now, and I'm so
And
glad.
did you ever think,
God,
right? And did you ever think that you would be an inspiration to someone else, like when you first started, or in the middle of you starting? Did you ever think that you would inspire someone else, another female or male, either one?
actually, I didn't. I really didn't. Because I guess once I quit, it was like I just I walked away. So I didn't feel like a inspiration. It wasn't until I came back and decided that this is what I was going to do again. And I was just like, you know what? If I could do it, anybody could do it. If I come back at my age and do it now, anybody. Once if you have a passion for something and that's what you want to do, follow it. I regret um quitting in 81. I till this day I regret that. And it was all because of a man. Because he couldn't understand. He was jealous of what I was doing. And I'm not with that person anymore. I haven't been with that person since 81, but I let that person change the direction of my life. So I always said that I would never let that happen again. And that's my biggest advice. If you love something, don't let nobody try to change your mind about it if that's what you want to do. But you got to put the work
Well,
into
being
though.
the right. Well, me being the only blend female blend DJ in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, I hope to be that inspiration to someone as well.
I think it's a good thing because as women, this culture, and I'm saying the hip hop culture, is it's men orientated. It's like they forget about us. We have to kick the kick in the door and make sure they don't forget about us. And I think that what you're doing is amazing.
Right,
So you have to just keep doing it. That, like I said, my biggest regret was
right,
quitting. So if you can continue to keep doing something that you love, music is a part of me. If I couldn't do it, I would probably just dry up and die somewhere in a corner. My kids would tell you throughout their whole childhood, I was playing music. Music, the first thing I did, I didn't have
hmm,
my own set back then. I didn't get my own set until 2010. The set that I did have back then, somebody stole it. So I didn't get my own set until 2010, and I'm still pushing. I didn't upgrade it. So if I could do it, every woman out there who wants to do this can do it. And like I said, I'm so proud of you. You
right.
doing your thing and everything. And I see it. I watch you.
Thank
You and Hattie
you.
Mae. So I you do
Me and Hattie Mae.
so, and I love that. And the other thing is women want to compete with each other. We got to compete with the men. We should not be competing with each other. Like if there's something, if somebody say, Lady Love,
Right,
you know any female DJs that could do this, this, and this, I'm gonna be like giving people names. Like, because that's what we're supposed to do.
right,
That's what we're supposed to do. As women, we should stick together because why can't women love the music just like the men? Why can't we play just like the men? Why can't we get
right,
these things just like the men? So, but we got to fight for it. And
right.
I'm still fighting for mine. So continue with the fight, honey.
Wow.
So
Thank you. And that'll be all for tonight. Thank you.
you're welcome.
And check your email messages.
Oh, I got you. I got you. So I definitely got you. I'll do the
Okay.
promo and everything. So I got you. So and
All
I
right.
thank you. And I thank you. You will
Okay.
be only the second. You know, you gave me I played your mix before, but as far as on the station, there's only 2 female DJs besides, well, 3. Me too, because my station, I play my stuff all the time. But it's you and Lacey T. And she is a fantastic
Oh
DJ.
wow.
And I know that you're good. So that's the
Okay.
reason why I keep bugging you for a mix. I don't have no whack ass DJs on my station.
Thank you.
I've had guys send me mixes that are horrible, horrible, and I'll just be like, yeah, you know what? I don't have a time slot for that. But I'm thinking to myself, why would you
Right.
send me this crap? So yeah, I still
Right.
have integrity. The mix got to be hot. So I appreciate you.
Right. Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
now you said it, and again, another segue. You said you got some new equipment.
Yes.
So you spoke about how you got to 12s in the back.
Yep. The
The-
12s are in the boxes that these came from.
There you go. So you kind of keeping the boxes warm just in case, right? But you don't
Right.
think they might not come out the boxes for a minute.
That's okay. But somebody asked me, would you sell them? Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Never for sale. I used to say when I die, bury me with my equipment, please. I'm taking the shit with me. So, but yes. And these right here in the 72, I feel like I'm in heaven. I don't when I was waiting for them to come in the mail every day, I'm like, okay, they're coming today. Okay, they're coming today. And when I got them, I didn't play on them for 2 weeks. I kept looking at them, kept looking at the mixer. They intimidated me. And I was just like, it's so much to learn. I don't know if I could do it. And then I just said, you know what? What is wrong with you? You got this. Like, I can't believe that I didn't play on them for 2 weeks. As much as I was waiting for them to come, I didn't play. I'm calling everybody, I got this. I need you to tell me to walk me through what I got to do. And then I was like, yeah, DJ, get your ass up there and figure it out. And I did. But they
So
intimidated me for 2 weeks.
so you actually shared that you have a name for each one of your 12s and the mixer as well. And
Yes.
what I'm going to do at the same time is I'm going to let I call him the Rain affiliate of the group. I tell you, he is a Rain fan, Rain fanatic. And who am I
Okay.
talking about? DJ Joe Storm.
Hey,
DJ
Joe
Lady,
Stone,
what?
DJ. Well,
Peace,
let me
Queen.
tell you. Let me tell you, okay? I started out with the Rain 57 and in the 12s. Then I moved from the Rain 57 to the 62, and then I went from the 62 to the 72. So I love Rain too.
Well, I gotta be totally honest. This actually is my first Rain mixer.
Really?
Yeah. Before that, I had a Pioneer S9. Before that, I had 3 Vastex mixers. 05, 03, 07.
Okay.
And because I was one time I was a big Stanton Vastex guy, heavy, But yeah, this is my first Rain mixer. Sound is awesome.
Yep. I see you got the 72 back there. I see that
Yeah.
72.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it now. Like I said, it intimidated me when I first opened the box, and I was like, oh Lord. Even though I had the 62 in the 57, this one is just technology as far as this mixer goes, is off the chain of what you can do with it.
Oh
And
my goodness.
yeah. I was doing tutorials. I was doing so much things with this mixer, and I still think there's stuff that I don't know how to do. I know there's just a whole lot of stuff that I don't know how to do. So, but
Well,
I love it.
holler at me. I'll make sure to straighten you out with whatever you missing.
See, this is Prince. The mixer is Prince, and that's Lisa, and that's Wendy 3000. Because my 12s is Lisa and Wendy, because they the first ones. People
Yeah.
used to, I would go to gigs, and they'd be like, you got Lisa and Wendy with you? I'm like, yeah, they right over there. So people that know me and stuff, they know that those are my babies, Lisa and Wendy. So
Yeah.
so now with the 72? What made you get that?
Actually, I got it. But my best friend, he actually had the whole set first,
Mm.
and I went to a party with him, and me and him was back to back DJing. It was actually a party he was DJing, but he let me get on for about 30, 40 minutes. And he was like, go ahead and touch it. So I already had downloaded the drivers and everything to my computer, and I plugged it up, and I got to touching it. And I was like, wow, like this thing is solid.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 3 effects that he stacked on it that he used. He said, check it out. And I'm clicking the paddles at the time. And at the time I had the S9. So I'm messing with that. Then I go home and I'm like, you know, it kind of got me baffled. So it wasn't until I went to the DJ Expo last year.
Me too. I was there.
Oh, you was there? Okay, okay. My buddy DJ Swerve from the Bronx, me and him actually was there together, and he had the no, we were looking at the mixer. No, he already had the mixer. I think he had the mixer already, but the rain group was already there, and I got a chance to touch it again, and it blew me away. And it wasn't until DJ Con last year in December, that's when I really pulled the trigger. I was like, I'm getting it.
Mm.
And I actually sold my S9. I was like, because I love the S9. The S9 for as effects is solid. Great effects, great fader, is an awesome mixer. But that rain, I was like, oh my, I never had a rain. So I said, let me do this. And I did it, and I ain't never looked back.
Well, I did a party with Busy B, Chief Rocker Busy B. I was his DJ, and
Okay.
the setup that they had, it was an S9. I had never played on the S9 before, and
Okay.
the pedals and stuff. I was like, oh, I was thinking about getting the S9, and
Yeah.
then when I seen the 72 when it had the paddles, that's what made me say, okay, I'm not gonna get the S9. I'm gonna go ahead and get the 72, because I was gonna change up, because I'm like, you got a 57, you got a 62, like you gonna get a 72? What, you just gonna keep buying all of these rings? So I was gonna get the S9, but then when
Yeah.
I seen that they had, I love that paddle effect. I was like, okay, that sealed the deal for me. I'm gonna go ahead and get that 72. So,
Well, I'm glad you made that purchase. You know, to Team Rain all day.
that's right. That's right. And I had people calling me up, yo, where'd you get your 72 from? 'Cause they was out of stock for a minute. I had got the last one at this
Yeah.
spot, and they was waiting for the orders to come in. And I was just like, I got it from this place. I didn't want to tell nobody where I got it from.
Yeah.
And everybody was just like, yo, they saying they on order. You gotta order it, you gotta order it. So I got mine at the right time.
Yeah.
And like, I love it now. I love it now, but when I first got it, I was just like, it's like a rocket ship. I got to figure this out. And Kev Rockwell, he called me. He was like, I see you got the 72. I said, yep. He was like, sis, you got to sit down and read that book manual. It might take you a minute, but you got to read that manual because there's a lot of stuff that it could do. And I was like, now you just made it even worse. So like I said, but I'm good with it now. I love it. Love, love, love it. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't want to take it out the house. I don't want to take it out the house. I just want it to be safe and secure. Cause you know, when you go do these jams and people want to bump into your shit or touch it, touch everything. Nah, I'll be in jail. Somebody touch my little paddle thing, their hand is gonna be gone. So, but yeah,
Hey,
Rain is it.
let all these pioneer people know Team Rain. S11
That's
is
right.
up. It's okay. It's dope.
That's
S11 is
right.
dope. But Team Rain, we got the firmware update
There
coming.
we go.
real
There
soon.
we go. If Rain called me for a sponsor, hey, yeah, Team Rain, baby. I went all the way. I got the 12 and everything to match up. So, yeah, I love it.
Well, that's dope. Well, I ain't gonna take too much of your time. I'll let the next person do their thing. But follow me on Facebook if you can at Joseph Henderson. You can check me out, and I'll send you some mixes, for your station.
Okay. All right, Joseph Henderson.
Yes. Matter of fact,
Okay.
I sent you a request. Just check it out.
Okay.
All right, peace, Queen.
Peace, King.
All right. So now Joe is giving us his dose of rain. And now we also know that you really love rain too, because you've taken it back. This is actually your third
My
generation.
third. I actually, when I had my first one, Rain was asking people to send in pictures of them with their Rain. And I think I had the 57 at the time. So I sent in a picture to Rain, and my picture was on a little spotlight thing for Rain DJs. And I'm like, oh, second now. I was like, y'all don't know how much I love Rain. And I was having a problem with the 62, and I couldn't fix it because Rain was bought out by In the Mix or something like that was going on. And so, yeah. And I called Theo, Grand Wizard Theo. I'm like, Theo. No, I called Jazzy J. And I'm like, Jazzy, I need some help. He actually gave me the phone number of one of the top technicians at Rain. And I was just like, now see, that was the first time I ever thought, like, man, I might be a legend. I called the legend, and he gave me this so quick. I would have had to go through so much stuff, and he gave me the top person's number. And I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sometimes it's who you know.
Yes, indeed. All day.
Yep.
All day. And speaking of another legend that we have here, we want to go ahead on and bring her in so she can holler at you as well. And who am I talking about? DJ Baby D.
Girl,
what's up, girl?
I'm sitting here listening to you, and you brought back so much memories about the crap we went through back then. I mean, it was, I was like, my God, just you talking, I was like, I might as well stand next to you and move my mouth and let your words come on out.
You know, it was crazy.
It was, but I was fortunate. I ain't had to sleep with nobody.
Look,
you're very fortunate.
Exactly. That's when I kind of walked away, because it started to get more and more and more. The more I started to do better, and it started to do well, and the different other people that I started meeting, that started to become an issue.
Right.
And it was just like, are you really serious with this?
Right.
And my thing was, I didn't want to be known as, because they already talked about us in the first place. I didn't want to be known as, oh, that's that chick that he doing, that's why she on there. I wanted to be the chick that I'm on there because I got skills to be on there. Not because I'm doing that, not because I'm doing the head dude in the crew.
Right.
So that was crazy. I mean, I know there's stuff like that now, probably still, but back then it was rampant. It was rampant.
But you know what? I think it's rampant now, but it's a little bit different, because now it seems like, when I look at not the set of DJs that I seen on here, because they do have, DJs come on in the last set with all females, I was like, I loved it. No one was half naked. No one with boobs all out and up to the, but when I look at other shows and everything, and look at these clubs, and I'm like, I'm standing there, and I do that. I fold my arms too. And it's funny because Sherry goes, you're like a split image of Flash, because the way he DJ, I do the same thing. And I was like, okay, we were all just intertwined and all that. That's how I picked up a lot of his trait. But I go out there and I look at these girls, and I'm like, I want to really ask them, do you feel that they're, oh wow, she's back, oh look at her, because of your music and what you're doing, how you playing it, and your craft? Or do you think they're looking at you because you're giving them something to look at?
Well, I remember
to imagine.
When I used to go, I was dressing like the dudes with my Pumas and my Lee jeans and all of that, because I didn't want nobody to get the idea that the reason I was there because to get with one of them.
Right.
So
right. And they would think that quick.
Yep. I always dressed down. I always dressed like a guy.
gosh.
So
But I remember when I first seen you, I was with the twins, and we were doing one of the jams in the park. And when they said DJ Lady Love or Lady Love, and like it kind of hit me like, that's another female. Now I knew about Spinderella. Now Mercedes Ladies had a show with when she was with Salt and Pepper, and I blew her
no,
out of the
not, but
box.
see, it's not that one.
I know there's three actually. There's
Yeah,
one
yeah.
very first one, then there's the other one, which I think she's Puerto Rican or something like that, light skin, really light skin, and then there's the one now that left.
Right.
Actually, they all left, you know. So I know about that very first one because I think Van Silk said that was his wife. If I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken, you
I
gotta
think
go back.
so.
Didn't we
I think so. Yeah.
when we were on that call with all
Yep.
of us, and yeah, that's what I thought. So what I was always wondering where she went to, and I meant to ask Van Silk what happened with that. And
Mhm.
so but then when we were at the park and I heard your name and I said, a female. So yes, I was bumping elbows, move out of my way. I wanted to go up there, and Reggie was like, what are you doing? I was like, supporting her. That's another female. There's not too many of us out there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it was all males. And I mean, like Mercedes Ladies went through purity hell trying to do the things that we do. But I'm proud because what Trevor did with us, we learned how to put that equipment together. Well, the DJs, me and Renee, put the equipment together, break it down. If something's wrong, figure it out. You know, we had our shotgun up underneath the table. I was climbing. You remember how we had to get up there and plug that stuff in? So, you know, it was like just listening to you talk was like, wow, right down to you walking away in 81, because I did the same thing. But I walked away because I thought marriage, you know, the family thing.
Right.
So, which was wrong because he wound up being abusive. But I never ever forgot everywhere we went. Like we were stationed in different parts of the world and everything. And then I joined the military. Then, you know, I would make these CDs because, you know, the CDs was a big thing back then, like in between. And I would make the CDs, but the difference between people making CDs and me making my CDs is that I made sure that they all, the music, so to speak, answered each other. Like it blended right the hell in.
Exactly. That, you know what? That's crazy because that's exactly what I would do. I wouldn't tell people that I was a DJ when I worked at the post office and stuff, but they would always come to me for CDs. You would think my CDs were mixed CDs, but they weren't. I just had them the way they just flowed.
Right.
Girl,
Gotcha. Hey, we twins. Yeah, we was. And so, you know, like now coming back out, you know, I was like, oh, I gotta tell Lady Love. I think didn't I tell you that though in Messenger? You know, and you know, I was like, I was really scared and talking to the women mostly. I mean, no offense, guys, but the women, they're the ones that really gave me that spark because it's a how would you say it, the female card thing, you know, it's the camaraderie, and you don't see too much of that with women, but the real die-hard DJs you do. That's why I adopted Big Body. I watch everything she say on Facebook, and sometimes you might see me saying, I'm going to get a switch and I'm heading towards your house. But you know, and it's wonderful. It makes me, you know, want to come back out. I mean, like, this is a male dominated situation all the way through. It is. I mean, right down to the rapping. It is. And like you said, you know, the women have to kick down doors to make it. What I'm looking at now is the women have to be half naked or half plastic.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. Like, it should be about, can I rock this party? Like, can she rock this party? Am I just turning knobs? Am I rocking this party? That's what it should be about, not what I'm wearing. Why do I have to be half naked?
Looking like
to rock the party. If I could rock the party, I should be able to rock that party in the goddamn cotton bag.
Right, exactly. It's all about your craft. It's all about, you know, how you're rocking that crowd. Because like early on with us, like you said, we started from scratch. You know, like now I'm learning this all over again. I got my little new marks. I don't have reins yet. I got my little new mark.
See, I got lucky with the rain because I was down with GMC. Every time Cass got a new mixer from doing them park jams, he would give me his old one. The only mixer that I didn't inherit from Kaz was my 72 because I bought that myself. But the 57 and the 62, I got from Kaz. I mean, I paid for it, but
Right.
he gave me such a low price. You might as well say he just gave it to me.
So,
But
RD, God, I can't remember who she said it was, but there was one of the pioneers were willing to sell me their decks and stuff for a very low price, but I forgot to ask her about that before I went and bought these Newmarks. And I know Busy B is not far from me. He kept saying, look, I can drive the whole van over, because he had that van where he had everything built into the van where he used to drive and do parties and stuff. And I reckon this was after him and Flash and them. So he was telling me, you know what, I can give this to you. I can just bring it down to your house and just do it. But I was kind of intimidated because we all hate the crates.
Yep.
Hate the crates. I don't like crates. This is the best thing that they did was eliminating dragging those crates.
I be trying to tell people that, like, people will be making comments like, you ain't a real DJ if you don't play on vinyl. Like, you can have that vinyl if you want. Okay.
Oh, wait,
hold on. You
Big
saw
Body,
that?
did we just hear
You
that?
can have that vinyl. You want to drag the goddamn vinyl around? You go right ahead.
Girl, there was.
But
I have to
the thing is, if you got vinyl, you can't take all your vinyl to the party. So what if you play something? Oh, you left it at home. No.
Exactly.
I'm not doing all of that.
I be telling some of these DJs, I be looking at them like, look, what you do today, what you got today, that's all well fine, because everything progresses. Music progresses. This is today's sound. This is how they're doing it. There is nothing absolutely wrong with it. But don't come to me all stupid talking about, well, yeah, vinyl. If you never play vinyl, then you're not really a DJ and this and that. Because like one girl, Big Body, she just told me something about she alluded to me being a DJ of today and not knowing a damn thing about vinyl. I said, you know who I am? I'm gonna just leave that right there.
But don't you worry, because people
all I know
on that post getting at her ass right as we speak.
Girl, but I asked
this
her 3
woman is
questions.
still
But wait a
getting her
minute.
ass.
Hold up, here we go. Okay, Lady Love.
Still getting her ass.
You know all the DJs, all the female DJs that were on vinyl, right? Did you ever hear of a Jamie Spooderpool, whatever the hell her name is?
No, I was trying to figure out, like, who is she?
She's like, not a DJ though. She's not a DJ.
She's not a DJ.
She's not.
She's not.
She's a troller. She's a troller.
Okay, so she's not a DJ, and she never carried crates of records. Why is she even talking?
I know.
I had to find out from I had to do my investigation, and I was told she is by the person of that post. She is not a DJ,
but she came back and she answered you. She said she was
taught
taught by somebody.
You know what?
She said she was taught on vinyl. I'm looking at her picture, girl. You look like I just spit you out 10 months ago.
Hold that thought. I'll be right back. Let me go in there.
The crazy with that is, like, if you played on vinyl, don't mean that you could play. You still have to have a skill set. If you don't have no skills, I don't care what you playing on, your skill level is still going to be, you not a DJ skill level. So no matter what you play on, if you can play on something and you play on something else and you do what you do, then you're a DJ.
You're a bona fide. You're honing in on your craft and you're adapting to your situation. This chick told me it's not a craft.
What?
I was like, hey, that's what I turned around. I said, do you have any idea who the hell you talking to? I wanted to say, I like to stay humble unless you really come at me, cock at it, and then I'm gonna rip your face off. But I didn't want to disrespect Michael's, page or his post.
Everybody who claims to be a DJ is not a DJ.
Is not
exactly. I just threw his Michael ass under the bus. What are you talking about? What? No.
You threw him under. I know you threw him under the bus for asking that question and having her do that.
Right?
No, that's crazy. Because
like you said, don't come at me cockeyed, because I got something for your ass.
Girl.
Just because I got these reins and stuff like that, if I didn't know how to blend or mix or do all of that stuff, they would be useless.
They're ornaments. Yeah. Because like my husband has always everywhere we went, when he really started realizing, after he spoke to LL Cool J, he started realizing exactly who he was married with. And then he got pissed off. He said, why did you stop? I was like, A, number one, I became a mother and I was married. B, I joined the military. You know, but even in the military, when we were stationed in I was on Pearl Harbor, he was on what is that? Not what was that? The Marine Corps station, Marine Corps Base, Hawaii. So they still had their clubs going. So when the DJ would walk away, he would say, hey, make sure the record, blah, blah, blah. I started, I DJ'd, and he came back. He said, how did you know how to do that? I wasn't like you. I wasn't telling everybody either. But once in a while it would come out. And my husband was like, okay, you know what? Something got to give. Then Shah-Rock contacted me and while I was in Japan. Then Gail did. Gail, let's bang. She drove me crazy. She caught me up. Sherry always knew where I was. And my husband kept looking at me like, how come you're not doing this? How come you are not DJing? How come you not get back into this? So then when I told him about this group, he said, you need to listen to these guys, okay? And do what you got to do. Get the money, whatever. I said, well, if you see a couple of black guys driving up in the driveway, please don't shoot them. They're the DJs. Just started laughing like, you got to be kidding.
I always feel like as we was doing our thing, okay? So we lived our lives. We did all of that stuff. And now, like, if we have the time, there's no age limit on being a DJ.
No, exactly.
So as long as you can do what you do, you can. When I made that decision in 2010, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna be DJ Lady Love again, and that was like the best decision that I made for me because now I'm better now than I was back then. So I'm known more now than I was back then. So for me, it's the best thing that I ever did.
Right.
So
because it's what we love. It's what you love.
Exactly.
It's in you. It's ingrained in you. And like my daughter was telling me, she said, that's in your blood. This is you. I tell people who you are. They Google you. There you are. She was like, and I listened to the way you do music, and oh God, she was like your daughter. Can you please stop? But
I'll tell my daughter, I'm like, oh, don't bother me. I'm doing an interview. They just act like, other people will be like, oh my God, for real? Then my daughter just
not your kids. I was just yelling at her just a minute ago. Close the door. That door was. Look, I'm on an interview. I'm listening to DJ Lady Love. Oh, when she's there, yes. Oh, isn't that the one you? Yes. Could you close the door? Well, why do I gotta close the door, Mom? And I'm like, oh my God.
I remember when I decided that I was gonna be DJ Lady Love again, and I started going into chat rooms and stuff with people that I had known from back in the day, and they would be like, DJ Lady Love, are you that? And I'll be like, yeah. So slowly but surely, I started building up. I would have people coming at me. I don't remember you. I never heard of you, and I would have to. I would take out my flyers, and Kaz always used to say, you got to prove you're not a Lioneer. Once I pulled out my flyers, I'd be like, here we go.
I had to do that on Wanda.
Here we go.
Yep, I had to do that on Wanda D. She's just trying to discredit me in the whole 9 yards. I'm like, Wanda, if you cannot slap a flyer down with your name on it, rocking the streets, not just parties, but rocking the streets, leave me the hell alone. I was like,
and see, that's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about when I say that as women in this game that we should be sticking together. You have people that weren't there that try to put themselves in the timeline that they were there.
We know who that is. Yes.
And we know that they wasn't, because where were you? It was so little women that you could count on your hands who was there. So if somebody's coming up and they saying that they was there, be like, really? I don't remember you. So where were you?
Exactly.
Who can co-sign for you? And that was my biggest worry. I kept thinking, oh, nobody's going to remember me. They're not going to co-sign for me. And when the Disco Twins came out and co-signed for me, when Divine and them and Infinity Machine co-signed for me, I had to prove to Kaz and stuff. And I was on a flyer with Kaz at the T Connection. It was the Notorious 2, JDL and Kaz. I was on,
Right.
and he was like, really? I said, yeah. And
Right.
same thing with a couple of other people. I had to prove to them, here go my flyers. I was on the flyer with you.
Girl, I had to fight for you when it came to Gail. She was
Oh my God.
adamant.
Gail was the most person that I had to prove to her.
Right.
And she didn't believe, oh no, you wasn't there. Yes, Gail. And I had to tell her, I said, I was there before you, Gail. And what happened was Sherry Share. We did that thing in Queens. And Gail kept saying to me, I don't know why your picture is on this wall and I'm not on the wall. And
But she's not from Queens.
right, that's what I said. And so when Sherry was sitting there listening, and she said, Gail, what are you talking about? She was like, I don't remember her. She was like, well, I do. I remember DJ Lady Love. And I almost started crying because I was like,
When
thank
Sherry
you.
came out, when we also did a show as Mercedes Ladies in Queens. That was with the twins. So yeah,
Yep.
Sherry knew you, but Sherry, she called me up after that happened. She was hot, but she said she didn't want to cause a scene or anything, but she was just hot. And I was like, it just disheartens me that one person always have to set themselves above everybody else. You wasn't there. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. Like she was telling us, she was adamant, even telling of all people, Sha-Rock. Okay, see, now you, not her. But she said, well, Mercedes Ladies, no, they never battled. What was that other group she was in? I forgot the other.
Inner City Disco.
Inner City Disco. And she kept saying, nah. Well, I kept this flyer to myself and only Renee knows about it. And I showed it to her. I found the flyer where we, battled them. I think it was the Black Door. It was one of the T Connection, one of the Black Door, but she was adamant it didn't happen. I'm sitting here looking at these two flyers and I'm like, I'm the type of person, I'll sit back, I'll let you run your mouth and everything, but I'm a put out. Here you go.
That's what I did too.
Yeah.
That's all I did. I was like, you know what? I don't have to say nothing else. And I posted all my flyers and I was like, I don't remember seeing you. I see me, the only female DJ on these flyers with Flash and Theodore and all of that, but I don't see you.
Yeah, she'll always say Mercedes Ladies. I was like, you were only in Mercedes Ladies for a year. So that doesn't bona fide you as the first ones that stepped out. It was 3 MCs and 2 DJs. And those 2 DJs was me and RD Smiley. And then we had the 3 DJs. My
biggest thing with all of this is we always get discounted out. Like when they start doing the stories and about the hip hop and how it got started, when they start with the female DJs, sometimes they include Mercedes Ladies and sometimes they don't. But mainly they'll start off with people like Coco Chanel and Jazzy Joyce, but we were before them.
Exactly.
We were before them, so they act like we didn't exist, and we did.
And we did. Sherry's telling me fight for it. And I'm like, but Sherry, you're the most vocal. I know what I'm going to do. When I get out there, when I get back out there, if I can do that, I'm putting everybody on blast and I'm going to bring up everybody. I'm going to be like, there was me, there was Lady Love. RD Smiley gets recognized the least. And I'm like, she was one of the DJs in, Mercedes Ladies. And the only reason why Gail gets, she has her own right, but
she does. But she tries to overstep everybody else or try to make it be like you weren't there. And you're not going to take away something that I know I was there for. I'm not going to let you do that.
You shouldn't do that. And you shouldn't do that when you're at a show like you guys were, because it makes you look like kind of ignorant, sort of like. And that's what they're already saying. Pioneers can't come together, or we want too much money for interviews and stuff like that. I was like, first of all, you can't speak of all pioneers like that because you have not gotten in touch with all pioneers. What you're doing is you're getting in touch with the pioneers that made records and got bigger names out there. So yeah.
And there were more of us behind that scene than is known. So that's why I appreciate stuff like this, because it lets me know that, you know, I'm valued. It lets me know that I was there, and nobody can take my history away from me. You know, I know what I did. I know I would go to these clubs and all of this stuff, and there would be no other female DJs in Queens.
Right. So, I remember that. I remember that. I was visiting. I visited Queens.
I remember y'all came to Queens to do a show. It was on Jamaica Avenue, and I lived right across the street. And I was just like, the Mercedes ladies is right across the street, and I can't even go. The Mercedes ladies is right across the street, and I can't even go. I stood outside and I watched y'all go in, and I was just like, you know,
if we knew you then, this is how we were. If we knew you then, one of us would have turned around and said, oh, she with us. Come on, girl. One of us would have did it. We weren't like really connecting with each other as females, because the males always cock block. And that really pissed me off. Like I was telling people, you know, even though I was taught by, I honed my skills with Theodore. I was already DJing before I even met Theodore, and that was through MC Smiley. And she's another one that people slept on too. And I'm like, how do you forget?
It's like we were there. They taking people's stories who weren't there. We were there. We were a
I mean, like WD just dismissed Mercedes ladies. I'm like,
so
really?
Can I ask a quick question about that? Because
we just talked. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no. This is really good, and it's definitely great to hear, you know, the history of all of this right now. And so in the sense like what you're saying, well, actually both of you, but Lady Love, in the sense where you have this situation going on where these documentaries are made out, or these different stories are made, is there some of your connects or some other connects out there that you may know from way back when, that when they hear about these stories coming in, that could kind of definitely plug you in and tell these people to make sure that they do include your history, because you definitely have a valuable piece of the history?
Yeah.
Is there,
I did that with Scorpio.
To do that?
I did that with Scorpio.
For me, it was Ralph McDaniels. Like, without Ralph, a lot of stuff that I did after wouldn't have happened, because he co-signed for me. He made it, him putting my picture on the wall in the Queens Library was like, her story is true. She was there. And they have my flyers in their archive. I make copies, so they have the flyers in the archive and stuff. But the craziness, like I said, about this is people tell the story and they mention people like everybody that was there, but we were right there with them. So why is not, when you say Flash or you say Theodore or you say, why isn't Baby D, Lady Love, what R.D. Smiley, why isn't our name mentioned along with them? We don't get that part. We don't get that part.
Exactly. Scorpio said something. He was like, I'm gonna give tribute to the women, and I'm looking at all the people that he put down, and I said, you know what, this is kind of messed up, you know. And the way I said it, I let him know I wasn't happy. So he got in touch with me. He said, well, what's wrong? I said, why do you always skip out, you know, me, all the Mercedes ladies entirely? Why do you do that? And he said it best. He said, you know, sometimes it's out of sight, out of mind, or if you didn't make something big, they forget. And I'm like, but if you're talking about the beginnings, you shouldn't forget, especially you. I was like, you of all people. I said, you know, Raheem doesn't, but you do. Why? So it's disheartening that they do that.
That's Mr. Ness.
Yeah. I told him, I said, I remember when your ass couldn't even get muscles.
Yeah,
you were so skinny.
Ness.
Skinny was skinny.
Mr. Ness.
Yeah, Mr. Ness. And it you know, I said, don't you remember 63 Park? And then from 63 Park, like right up the block, it was another like it was like a fenced in schoolyard of some sort, and it was right across from where Cowboy used to live in that building. I think Ness lived in that same building. I'm not sure. Theodore was around the corner from 63 Park. Trevor was down the block. And I'm like, I'm sitting here and I'm remembering, a whole lot of stuff was coming back. And I'm like, so you're trying to dismiss us? And then on top of it all, I got to deal with the sequence with Angie Stone trying to dismiss us. They're saying they were the first females. I'm like,
But
well,
they weren't. They weren't. They may be the first female on wax, but they wasn't out there in the streets like us.
They were down south. And when I was stationed down south, I asked people, do you remember the sequence before they made wax? Nope. Nobody remembers them before wax.
Well, see, Hollywood wrote the book. This is Hollywood's book, right? And in the book is the flyer, and on this flyer is me, DJ Lady Love, the only female on this flyer in 1979 in Queens. But everybody else, Flash, everybody went on to people remembering their name and all of that. I'm the only female on the goddamn flyer.
Right. So how can you forget
so
that?
How do I get left out?
How do you forget that? I asked Flash, I was like, how do you forget me, the person that you turn around, looked in my face and said, we viewed y'all as a threat? And I asked him, who is we? And he said, me and the rest of the crew. And I was like, why? He said, because Mercedes Ladies was a mirror image, but females of Grandmaster Flash.
That's right.
And he said, you are exactly like me on them turntables, and I view you as a threat because you're a female. And I was like, why can't I be a colleague? Why can't I be a fellow DJ? Why does it have to be because I'm a female? That kind of hurt. Like, wow, because I got boobs somehow, you want to shut me down or whatever.
It's like the beginning of hip hop was theirs and they didn't want to include us. But Davey D is doing, putting together a documentary of his life, and he invited me to be a part of it. And I was so I was just like, I was so
That's
amazed.
A blessing.
Yeah. So when we did it, he was just like, he said, every time I hear you do an interview, you always mention me. I said, because you were the one that kicked that off for me. You gave me that chance. Like, if it wasn't for you giving me that first step, I probably never would have been a DJ Sexy / DJ Lady Love.
Right.
But you were not like other guys at the time who, you ain't getting on my set, or what you gonna do for me? Or Dave was never like that. And Woody, the first person to put me on a flyer and the first person to let me play in public, wasn't like that. If I hadn't ran into people like that, I don't think I would have succeeded as a DJ.
Right. And see, and that's beautiful. And it's beautiful that he came back, and he came back for you, and like, hey, I want you to do this because this is what I'm doing. And it's nice because like the first, the guy that I was using his DJ equipment before Theodore, and I was honing my skills on that, he had to come back and go, oh, no. She was DJing in 76, 77 when we were doing those house parties. Remember the house parties back then? Before, and it was kind of like house parties and then, hitting the streets or whatever, the parks and stuff. Yeah. He was like, by James Monroe
and then the clubs. And then became the clubs.
Right.
Because at first they wasn't letting nobody play hip hop in the clubs.
Oh, no. No, but I don't want to hear that noise. Right. And now you're busting your neck to play it, or whatever they want to call this hip hop. Like I was watching the BET Awards or whatever the hell that was, and I was like, this thing turned into hip hop.
I remember when they used to just say it was a fad and it would never last, but I didn't care. Like I said, that was my drug. That was my escape. That was mine, and nobody could take it from me.
Right.
I remember those exact words too. They said it was hip hop was a fad and it would never last. I remember
it would never last.
Exact words.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. So those, This is some historical data that we are collecting right now between you two. So, and this is good. And I
Well,
know,
I'm loving it because I get to talk to Baby D and
yeah.
everything, and so
And you know what? It looks like we may have to get you guys on a conference, get you guys just sitting back, and get you guys to just really bounce back and talk, because I see
yeah,
something
that was
here.
fun.
I,
That
I
was fun.
but
Thank you,
I see
honey.
something.
Yeah.
Thank you, my shiro. Thank you.
You girl, you are welcome. And I tell you, you know, if I had the chance, if I could get some big people and behind this, just to come out and do a show or something, or when this whole COVID is over, you know, bringing
Yeah.
out the females. So you get you, me, we're gonna drag Miss Big Body, but she thinks she's gonna sit there behind, you know, and think, no, yes, woman. RD Smiley, even Gail, because Gail she was good in her own right. The
Yeah.
Spank was good in her
I
own
mean,
right.
see, this is my thing. I'm cool with Gail. Me and Gail is cool as far as I'm concerned. Just don't try to attack my history. If you did, I was there. I did my thing. Don't try to come at me and say I wasn't. That is no. I mean, don't attack my history. My history is what it is. It is
right.
It's right there. It may not be solid as everybody else's, but it's
But
my
you were there.
history.
You were
Right. So
there, and I
don't
told her,
attack
I
my history.
remember you. You were there, and if I have to go get Reggie to say it too, you were there. You were,
Well, see,
and
they co-signed for me, so I'm glad about that part.
yeah, the twin. Oh, girl, I love the twins. They had a beast of a system.
Yep.
Oh
The
my,
twins.
what did they call
See, that
theirs?
was my thing. Disco Twins and Infinity Machine, the two top big ass DJs that had the equipment. I wasn't part of the crew, but I played with them. I would go to the twins' house and practice, and me and Sesame be arguing over who gonna do impeach the president. And he did it so long practicing that when I got on for my turn, I already knew how to do it because I sat there for an hour listening to him do it. So, you know, just
he would
stuff
just
like
look at me like I'm crazy. I would put that on, and he's like, "What you gonna do? What do you mean? What am I gonna do?" Oh, we used to argue. We used to argue so much, but it's amazing looking at him now because what, he just retired from being a detective or something.
Yeah,
the detective. So it's and what was the other guy named? Was it Smalls? I
yeah.
want to say
Him,
Smalls
DJ
was there.
Smalls, Sesame. Yep. Yep. See,
Yep.
and that's the thing. We were part of some of the biggest crews at the time, and we still,
Still
y'all, you
did
had
not get recognized.
right.
Still,
It's okay though. I know my history, and I know
Mhm.
what I did, and I just decided that. Chirac told me one time, don't wait for somebody else to tell your story. Tell your story yourself. And she's right with that. That's why I do these interviews and stuff, because I might not be a national name or a household name, but I know I was there. Now my radio station might be an international name, but me as the DJ, I might not be as famous as everybody else. I'm not famous at all, but I still was there. I still have a part of that history.
With that, I have a question about your radio station. Did you ever think about reaching out to LL and having them like have a segment of you on there?
I was thinking, but I don't know, because number one, I wouldn't even know how to reach out to LL. And the craziness is, around the same time that I was doing about to quit, he was playing in the parks with Cut Creator. So I know him, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I know if I had the way to get in touch with him, it's just like I haven't seen him in like 15 years. When I just tried the phone number, and his grandmother picked up just before she died. And then he got on the phone, and my husband was just flabbergasted. He was like, "That is LL Cool J." And we were just talking like, "Hey, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a long time, blah, blah, blah." If I can get information.
I think that they should have a show on Sirius XM, because everybody getting shows on Sirius XM.
I know, right?
They should have a show with female DJs, us.
Yeah, get on that, Big Body.
Yeah, go ahead, girl.
Get on
with
it.
Pick that up.
I'm with it. I see what I
Yep,
can
if we
do.
could do that, you know, just
I'll see what I can do.
female pioneer network and not, you know, let like I love Shantae and everything and what she did and everything,
Why
but
is
I
she the
see,
only one? Like
I
Shantae is
know,
the only one. It's like they let women in a little bit at a time. It was more
right.
than Shantae. It
It
was more than
was. It
Shantae.
was just like that battle between Shantae and Sparky D. I'm sorry. I was like Sparky D hands down. That woman is a beast, and she's still a beast on that mic.
Yep.
So I'm
So
like, uh-huh.
like Sean Rock said, we got to we have to figure out a way to tell ours, because we got a story to tell.
Oh, we do.
So we got a story to tell. So
That's it right there. If we could somehow Netflix or somewhere get somebody interested in we have a story to tell, that should be the name of it. We have a story to tell.
I have a
Women,
solution.
the pioneer women in hip hop.
I have a beginning solution to that. And that is we could do a special podcast, right?
Right.
Get all the greats in there, right? And it gets released on all the different podcasts, all the different podcast outlets out there, right? And
Right.
Lisa, Lady Love, you're connected to Roku, right?
yeah.
So with that and being connected to Roku,
Well,
get
I'm
all that-
connected to Roku through Fonye.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you would talk to Fonye, see what they could do, but you guys will really get out there, promote this. Everyone will promote it to all their networks because each of you guys have huge followings. And because you guys have huge followings, it'll spread quickly. And then
Right.
networks of all your old school legends that you connected with, you let them know what's going on, right? That eventually gets to the point where people are like, yo, this is coming on this day. You start promoting it. This is coming on this day. Everybody listen. Before, I guarantee you, before that thing hits the internet, some people are going to call and say, can we possibly get this to be a TV production of some sort, some documentary or something like that? And that way people can tell about it. I know it sounds
Right.
simpler than I'm saying, but
Mhm.
and of course there would be work involved in it. But I truly believe that with the history, with what I'm hearing between you guys and all the different things and the names you call, Shy Rock, Spenderella, Sparky D, all of y'all get together, all the DJs that from that time. Get all
Well,
of y'all
Sparky
together.
and Sean Rock were MCs.
Yeah, they were MCs, but what
They were MCs.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about you getting all the names that you called, not only DJs,
Oh, okay.
but the MCs as well, right? Get all of y'all together. Y'all start talking about your different things, different eras, different times. And because at some point, you guys did cross paths,
Mm-hmm.
right? So as you guys cross paths, it goes back to what we started talking about from the beginning, Lady Love, and that's the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You have the most valuable piece of information, and that is the timeline that validated you as the first female DJ in Queens, right? So you start putting that, dropping all these individuals on this timeline as you guys are talking about it, and then that becomes the biggest piece and the biggest history lesson out there. Just
Right.
think about that. This is just something. This is just something to think about.
Let me give you this little tidbit. Now you remember Run DMC, Sucker MCs, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Run says the line, "Fly like a dove that comes from up above. I'm rapping on the mic and they call me Run Love."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was not his rhyme. When Woody would introduce me, when we were doing gigs, he would say, "Fly like a dove that come from up above. I'm rapping on the mic and they call her Lady Love."
Wow.
When
He
I
stole
had-
your stuff.
When I first heard, I was like, wait a minute. But then I looked and I see Davey was involved and Run and all of them. So I'm like, these are the crews that were around when Woody would be saying that. And I was like, he stole my intro. So,
Wow.
yes, that's what Woody would say when he would introduce me.
So
So
stuff
for
like
me,
that is history. Things of
yep.
that nature is history, right?
Yeah.
So you get little tidbits like that. And then what that does is that opens the door to a few things of how it really was back in that day and why some people got the shine, some people didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, for example, it's just like with Rapper's Delight, right? We all know I'm drawing a blank on his name, but we all know that wasn't his rhyme.
Kaz. That was
Kaz's,
Kaz's
that was
rhyme.
Kaz's rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that.
That was Big Bang Hank
Big Bang,
stealing
Big
Kaz's
Bang
rhyme.
Cat. But
Yep,
check it out.
sure did.
But look how long it took for that to actually come out.
Exactly.
So this is what I'm saying. So once people started talking about it, once Kaz started talking about it, people started going back and listening and going, okay, because before that Big Bang Hank, when he would say, you know, you guys would just go along with
The
him.
CASN, the OVA.
Yep, you just go along with it. But then when Kaz started talking about it, all of a sudden you was like, yo, wait a minute. He's
Mhm.
right. He's
Yep.
right. So
Yep.
it's kind of that deal there. So
His run wasn't
think-
called Run Love. Nobody called Run Love.
No, I don't
Exactly.
remember calling him Run Love either.
Nope.
So this is what I say, or this is what I recommend, because I'm not going to sit here and tell the legends that I'm saying. So I withdraw that disrespect. I don't want that to be disrespect. I want that to be, I'm bringing a recommendation and I'm bowing down. So recommendation is this is for you two and several of you all. And of course I can help. I know Rod Flash, anybody in this group, this is the DJ information group. This is the kind of work that we do. So we can help with that, you know, and get something going like that and have them all come in. We could get together, we could talk about it and get something to where it could definitely get out. It's just a matter of two things: time and effort. You get those
Right.
two things going and you get people that, and the other big thing is the willing to participate, because
Right.
you're going to have some that's not going to want to participate.
Oh
But that's
yeah.
okay.
I
That's
I
okay.
believe that.
But you get those three things on board and you'll be good. You know, I know there's some other DJs on here that want to talk as well, but I
Okay.
definitely want to inject that. And Baby D, I know and the other thing, I would love to make sure that I get you guys and talk with you guys, because there is more in you guys' story. And I'm going to talk to Flash about something, because I would really love to pull you two guys together again and talk to you and really talk more, and because your history and everything that you're talking about, and then also the number of people that you named, all the different connections that you named. And even Flash asked, you know, let me tell you something. Flash is my brother. Love him. From day one that we met in another group, and then he brought us over here to the information group. Not once did I ever think that the influence for his name came from Grandmaster Flash.
Grandmaster Flash.
Until tonight. Not once did I ever even think about that. And he admitted that tonight, you know, which means I'm still learning. So, and that's what I'm saying. I learned something else about my brother, you know, and it could be the same thing for you all. So we'll definitely talk about that more for sure. But let me pull on the rest of these other DJs, and then we could talk some more after that for sure, because I don't want them to get on me. I see DJ
They talking too much.
Yeah, I see DJ Big Dooley in here. DJ Big Dooley. What's up, my man? He's out of H-Town.
Man, I have a question. Just want to say
A-Town down.
Just want to say hello to everybody.
Hey.
Cool.
That's it.
H-Town. That's DJ Big Dooley.
Baby. A-Town down.
Yeah, out of Houston. He's that's him. And then we have DJ Miss Official. She's one of the other female DJs in the group as well.
Okay.
And she's out of New York.
How you doing, Lady Love?
Hey.
I just want to salute you, you know, being a pioneer and all, paving the way for the ladies, you know.
I heard DJ, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm a
Okay, DJ.
little.
I need a mix. I need a
Little.
mix for my station.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I can send that to you. You know, a little.
DJ Lady Love at hotmail.com.
Okay, I can definitely send that over to you. That's no
Right.
problem. That is no problem. And just want to say salute. You know, keep doing your thing, and it was great to just learn about you and everything. So
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I definitely want to hear the mix from you. I support all the female DJs that I can.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'll make sure you get that.
Don't call me ma'am.
Oh, girl,
I know I'm
you
old.
grab
I know I'm
my
old.
That's the way I was.
Feel
That's
like-
the way I
it
was
make me
raised.
feel
I'm
like
sorry.
talking to my mother.
Nah, I'm sorry. That's the way I was raised. You know, Southern values. So
I'm just joking with you.
yeah,
Thank
nah,
I
you.
like that though. She's very
Appreciate it.
respectful. I commend her for that. Thank you.
yeah, I can't get beat up. My grandfather crazy, so I can't get.
Don't get the switch.
Got the belt on the wall. I said she done told him about it already. The belt coming out.
So what type of music do you play?
So I started off as a gospel DJ. So
Okay.
I'm very heavy in the church. So I started off with gospel music and stuff like that, and then now I've transitioned to I try to say open format, but there are still some genres that I haven't really touched just yet. But
I do open format too.
I do as much I kind of whatever my client needs.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of corporate DJing, so I have to be able to be versatile.
So can I make a request? On Sundays, I play gospel music. I have gospel DJs that do gospel music for me on Sundays. Would the mix that you make for me, could it be a gospel mix?
Sure, I can do that.
Thank you.
I can
Thank
do that.
you very much.
Yes, ma'am. How long do you want it?
You can do an hour, 2 hours. It's up to you. It's up to you. The minimum is an hour though.
Okay.
So it's up to you. Yeah, because Sundays I have one guy, he does praise music on Sundays. And I like that thing. I have a lot of international people, especially the people from Japan. For some reason they love the gospel.
Yeah, I have a
stuff.
lot of
They do.
gospel music and stuff like that. You
Yep.
know, I'm connected pretty good in the gospel industry, so I got some music that they
Good. See, this is all about networking.
Always. I'm always down to network and get to know other people. I mean, there's so many female DJs out here that I don't know about, and it's amazing to really learn and see where their journey was. So I really appreciate it.
Okay.
I learned from a man. My grandfather a DJ, so
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Family line. Keep that family thing
Grandfather,
going.
my dad, so it's like third generation here. So
Okay.
but I'm the only female, his only grandchild that actually went into it. So
That's cool.
yeah, so
I
definitely.
look forward to seeing your mix pop up in my email.
Yes, ma'am. I'll definitely send that over.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Cool beans. So of course,
Uh-oh.
this is my little protege,
Yay.
DJ Nugget. She loves the microphone.
Okay.
Say
Nugget.
say hi.
Hi.
DJ. Say hi.
Yeah.
DJ, say DJ.
Say,
Lady.
really?
Love.
Well,
Hi. Uh-oh, we got
Yes, y'all.
We got one in training. That's right.
Yeah. Wait, she got to get it down. Yes, y'all.
Say yes.
yeah.
Say yes.
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 Y'all.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all. Yay.
Go ahead with your bad self.
Hold on a second.
Hiya.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Teach him early. Teach him early.
Teach the kids and let them lead the way.
That's right.
All right. So now the next one we have. Let me go to the chat box, because on the chat box there were several DJs. Sorry about that noise in the background. We had several DJ, a couple of them here. DJ Michael Lee, he was on here, and he says, of course, he had to run. He had to take a call. Didn't really have a question, but wanted to congratulate you on your radio station. He said that you are inspirational and another excellent spotlight.
Thank you.
Then we had DJ Silent Professor. DJ Silent Professor said he has to bounce, but salute to a pioneer. And then, of course, Danny T. He says, of course, he had to hop out as well, but salute to another legend of hip hop. We can never hear enough about the history, and it's always fascinating to hear. Thanks for the history lesson. Salute.
Okay.
And it's then we have, of course, Joe Storm just put in here. Shout out to the queens of hip hop. And then we have DJ Prime on here, who's been working hard on his fog machine, because I had one of them fog machines, bro.
Fog machine.
And hey, when they go down, you got to get them back up. But I went on and bought me a little bit bigger one, so I wouldn't. So because that little one that like you had right there, man, that I had.
Yeah, no, I got a bigger one too.
Times. But this is DJ Prime, and this man here, he did an entire set on 45s one night, and it was super intriguing. What's up, my man?
What's going on? Salute, Lady Love.
Hey.
Salute to you.
Thank you.
I was just tuning in, listening to what you're saying, the background and the history and all. Wow. It's
you know
crazy.
what? I'm not bitter. I don't want y'all to think that I'm coming off as being bitter or something like that. I'm happy with okay, good. I'm happy with my life and everything. It's just some regrets I did have of what I did. So I don't want to come off as some old bitter DJ, because I'm not.
Nah, you didn't sound like that at all.
Not at all.
Okay.
We all take our moments to step away from the game for a hot second, and then pick it right back up. When the music is in you, it's in you. So you got to continue.
There you go. There you go. Thank you.
But salute, congrats to you on coming back and doing your radio station and all. Maybe I'll submit you a mix one day or something like that. We'll see what's going on.
You need to go ahead and do that. You need to go ahead and do that.
I'm working hard behind the scenes right now while y'all doing this. I'm repairing equipment and lights and everything.
So when you know what, when you get some free time, you be like, I should make DJ Lady Love a mix. Then you do it.
I'll keep that at the top of the list, definitely.
Thank you.
Salute.
All right. And so now I got my man. I always tease him, just like I tease Joe. But I always tease him and say he goes up and down the Eastern Seaboard. And who am I talking about? None other than the man himself, DJ I-95.
Well, okay then.
Hello. Salute. Salute. I got a couple questions for you. One.
Okay.
What was your first record?
Apache.
If you can remember. Ooh, Apache. Damn. Right on the nose. It already been touched, but really, how do you feel about technology versus the old school way? Just vinyl versus
the old
digital.
School way was fine in the old school. And to me, when moving into the technology of today, if you're a good DJ, all it's going to do is make you better. If you're a bad DJ, it's not doing nothing for you. So you still have to have skills. You still have to practice. You still have to do all of that stuff. You still have to know how to transition and read your crowd and all of that. So if you can do that on vinyl and carry that stuff all over the place, that's fine for you. But me, I'm not doing all of that. Okay, if it's something that makes it easy for me to rock the crowd or make a mix, I'm going with it. Because do you think a lot of those guys back there, that used to play on vinyl, most of them is using Serato and Tractor and all of that stuff now. So I don't like when somebody says, "Oh, you ain't a real DJ, you just a push button DJ," and all. Well, you know what? As long as my stuff is tight, if you want to call me a push button DJ, whatever. Because some of them dudes can't even rock a party and got the nerve to be talking about somebody who, if that's your choice, that's your choice. Everybody has a weapon of choice. And if the vinyl is your weapon of choice, then that's your choice.
And where are you located now?
Now I'm in Tacoma. No, I'm in Tacoma now.
Okay. I was going to ask you, have you been to the Tools of War and
Oh man, I closed out last year's Tools of War. I played. It was me, DJ Cash Money, Hollywood, Scratch, and Kid Capri. And the highlight of my thing, because I always wanted to do it, but the highlight of it was I was playing when I finished my set and I turned around, Kid Capri was standing there. He was like, nice set. And I was like, so yeah, I've done Tools of War.
Well, when everything's hopefully go back to normal, you need to try to check out Crotona Park. That's one of the spots that's pretty dope to be at.
Where?
Crotona Park.
I know, that's Tools of War. I played Crotona Park.
No, I didn't know. Matter of fact, yeah, you're right. You're right. My bad. I do apologize for that. I do.
Yeah, because I'm like, what? Yeah. Christy and Fable and all of that's Tools of War. They the ones who put together. The whole summer is for them. Like first they do the
DJ battles.
Poor Richard Park, and then they do Crotona is the last part because unless there's extra time, and then they'll do the park in Harlem. But Crotona is the last part for the summer. For August is Crotona.
Those were the only questions I had for you. Salute,
okay, DJ.
Salute to a New York DJ. Salute.
That's right. I'm gonna always be a New York DJ. BX in the house. Queens too.
Harlem in the house.
Look, when I first got out here, the first thing I did once I had to change my license. I love my New York license plate. So when I had to change my license, I went I ordered online all New York stuff. NY here, NY here, NY on the back of the car. I want y'all all to know in Tacoma that I'm from New York, okay? I'm always represent. So I appreciate that.
Cool.
Oh, that looked like my IP.
So we had one more pop in. It says Charles's iPhone.
Is that DJ Charlie Rizak?
Let me see. Let's see who that is. Charles's iPhone.
What is that? Is that you, Charlie? I don't know. I can't tell.
Okay. Well, one thing I do want to mention is I'm glad that you hearing another legend say it. And it needs to be something that resonates with a lot of DJs that are just of me. I'm gonna tell you like this. I love buying equipment. I love having equipment, but I use it all. So, and he said it is him. I'll unmute you again here in just a sec, Charlie. So in terms of the equipment wise, I have always said this. The DJ, the equipment does not make the DJ. The equipment does not make your skills. The DJ is responsible for the skills, because if you really think about it, a DJ can rock a party with this little thing right here.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He can rock a whole party with this. If he got skills or she got skills, they can rock a party with this joint right here.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying. So it don't really matter if you do vinyl or you do whatever you do, because it's going to come out if you have skills or not, no matter what you playing on.
Exactly. And then the other piece to it is, I'm just like y'all. Every time I talk to some old school heads or some legends, and they bring up the thing about the crates and carrying those crates, until you have picked up a crate, a full crate. I ain't talking about a half crate. I'm talking about a full crate. Until you picked up a full crate and carry that thing a couple blocks.
Or you doing a party, a party on the 5th floor or something like that.
And having to carry that joint. And because it always seemed like the park, whoever had their equipment was always 2 or 3 blocks from the place where they were having the jam. So you had to carry it all the way, because you weren't fortunate enough for your crate to get on the cart that was being pulled. That's why they had you carrying it. So until they have picked up them 25, 30-pound crates and either taken them up 5 flights of steps or went on and walked 2 or 3 blocks with them joints. And let me correct that. New York City blocks.
Yep.
Because a New
Mhm.
York City block is not a regular block like you see in other states.
Mhm.
Let's make that clear. Until that has happened, they have no clue how great it is to be able
And
to have all your
exactly.
crates, all your
Yep.
crates on your laptop. And as you say, if someone comes up to you and just happen to ask you for a song, or you think about a song from way back in the day, you don't have to say, "Oh, dang, I left that at home."
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You
Exactly.
got it. So I'm there with you. I'm on the level with you on that. And so I tell people all the time, equipment does not make the DJ.
No.
Your
Mhm.
DJ has to have those skills. And as far as crates is concerned, I'm loving when I have to carry when I carry those joints. Even when I take my tables out and I'm able to take 3 cases plus my backpack, as opposed to 3 cases and a whole
8 crates.
crates.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
good. I'm good. I'm good. So let's see if we can
Even
get let's see if we can get Charlie Rock back in here. Unmute yourself.
Peace to the room.
Peace.
hi, DJ Charlie Rizak.
What's up, DJ Lady Love?
You got any questions for me, dear?
I got a whole bunch of questions for you.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
Oh, well, first of all, it's good to see you being, in this group, in this room.
Being DJ Lady Lovish.
Yeah, sharing your knowledge and your love for the culture.
Yeah, you know I love the culture.
I know you love the culture. I just had a really quick question.
Okay.
When are you going to make your next mix?
Actually, I have it. I just didn't put any drops in it, so it's already made.
And what is the name of it?
The name of this mix is called Going Crazy. See, I name all my mixes. Every mix I ever made, they have names. So the name of this mix is Going Crazy. I was pretending I was at a party in my little COVID-19 room by myself. So it's called the Going Crazy mix.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that mix.
Thank you.
I can't wait till I get a copy of it sent to me.
Okay. Gotcha.
And yeah, keep doing what you do.
Thank you. DJ Charlie Rizak, as you can tell, is a friend of mine. And he feels like I don't speak up enough about what it is, my place in hip hop. So he's a very big advocate of mine because he's always pushing me to do that. Thank you, Charlie.
Welcome. I can only push as far as you let me push. So
I know. I told them it's I don't really push myself when it comes to that. So I know, like Sharrock told me, I need to tell my own story. It just feels like, I don't know. It feels crazy to me. When I hear somebody call me legendary, every time I'm always like, they're talking about me. Oh my God. So, because it was just part of my life. It was something that I loved, something that I couldn't see myself not doing. And what I'm thankful for is the opportunity to be able to come back. Because sometimes people don't get second chances. And I feel like I got a second chance to do this. And I had the best of both worlds. I was there in the beginning and I'm still here, being able to do my thing in as many different ways as I can. If that means having a radio station and pushing other DJs, then that's what I'm going to do. If that means doing my own thing with the Pink Panty stuff, then that's what I'm going to do. But it's still being able to do it is what I'm grateful for.
Did you speak on your legendary iconic status with your flyers that solidifies your place in history, as well
Yes,
as your as well as your New York Public Library.
Yes, we did that. And my picture on the wall in the Queen's Library.
Okay, all right. I came in late, so I didn't, but yeah, that's a beautiful thing that, it's that right there is pretty much the proof of you was there in the beginning, in the first generation, one of, if not the first female DJ in the game.
No, I keep correcting that. Baby D has that.
Hi.
That's
What's
right.
up?
Thank you. Baby
What's
D
up, Baby
has
D?
that title.
How you doing, sweetie?
Oh wow, I didn't know you was in here.
Yeah. You need to be her manager.
You know
Keep
how I
pushing
feel.
her.
You know how I feel about her.
The queen of the Mercedes ladies.
You already know how I feel about her.
I just saw Theodore's new logo. I'm like, OMG.
He got a new logo out?
Yeah, it's on his page. Fire.
Grand Wiz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I have a story about the Grand Wiz. So I played at the T Connection and the Grand Wiz was there. And y'all know the T Connection had one way in, one way out.
One way out. And if you tripped out on stairs, it's a wrap.
Yeah, so as I'm walking down the stairs, Theo is coming up the stairs. And he was like, good job, good job. He said, let me talk to you for a minute. I said, okay. He says, I could show you some things. I was like, for real? He was like, yeah. So he gave me his phone number. And that same day, the weekend, I had played in Brooklyn at the Empire Roller Skating Ring. And Jalil and Ecstasy, before they were Houdini, were actually there. And I remember calling into the Mr. Magic show and speaking to Ecstasy. And I said, well, I was the female that was playing it. It was because they were talking about it. He was like, oh, that was you? I said, yeah. So he said, we're auditioning for a DJ and I want you to come in and audition. I said, oh, okay. He said, it's one day. He said, if you can't make it that day, it's that one day. So I say, okay. The day of that audition was the same day that I was supposed to go meet Theodore. So I was like, go here or go there? Which one? So all I knew Jalil and Ecstasy from was answering the phone on the Mr. Magic show. So I'm like, I'm gonna go do the thing with Theo. So I get on the train, 4 train. I get to the stop Theo told me to get off at, and I call him. He said, when you get to the station, call me and I'll come get you. No answer. Call. 20 minutes of calling. Finally, somebody answered, and it was his mom, and she was like, well, he's not here. And so I hang up and I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And so I call Ecstasy and I say, is it too late for me to come? He said, I told you, Lady Love, that we were going to do this at that time. That's all the time we had. We got somebody now. And I was just like, what? So like 20 years later, I'm in the car, me and Charlie is in the car with Grand Wiz. He's taking us home. And I was like, you know what? You changed the course of my life. I could have been Grandmaster D. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I told him, he was like, yo, I'm so sorry. I don't even remember that. And I was just like looking at him like, you owe me big, Theo. You owe me big. That was so funny. And to this day, me and Ecstasy and Jalil is mad cool. But that was just so crazy. That just tells you how life goes. Like you get different opportunities and don't know which one is going to lead you to where you should be.
Exactly.
Because maybe if I would have took the other and went there, it would have been a whole different thing. You never know.
Kind of alludes to the Matrix, where you either have the blue pill or the red
pill. Exactly. Exactly.
The blue pill or red pill. That is your choice, which way you go.
The first time that I played at the T Connection, I didn't know. Bam just told me, he said, well, go ahead and play. I got this group that's going to be on. You could play for them. So I was nervous. And that damn DJ thing was rickety. I was just like, this thing is gonna fall.
Yeah, didn't it always feel
And
like it's gonna fall?
Yes. And so I started playing, and I think I messed up a couple of times. I wasn't on beat. And the group that I was doing it for was the Funky 4+1. And Sha Rock looked up at she said, all right, y'all, we're gonna let the DJ get herself together, and then we gonna continue. And after that, I was like, I can't mess up now. I can't mess up now. I didn't know that I was gonna be playing for the Funky 4. Bam just like threw me at it. And I was just like, oh Lord. And the craziness is Sha Rock was so gracious back then. And she still is. She's still the same person that she was back then.
Belated
And
happy birthday.
That's why I love her so much.
Yeah, you gotta help me
'Cause
get her on this show, Lady Love.
Yes, she could have been like, who the hell is that? She was like, we're gonna let the DJ get herself together. And I was like, oh Lord, thank you. So, but that DJ booth at the T Connection, I don't know how I just kept feeling like that thing was going to fall to the ground or something.
Yeah. That was the grace of God. Like, please don't let me fall.
Exactly.
Holy cow.
So, I mean, there's so many stories, and Baby D can confirm that. There's so many stories that we have. And like I said, and if we put that together, that would be great, because these are untold stories. You hear the same stories over and over from the same people. Our stories are untold stories. So this to me, this would add a new aspect to the culture, to the timeline of hip hop.
Right.
Well, this goes back to what I just recommended of how we could really bring this to fruition, and get that out there, because I truly believe that it needs to be heard. And a lot of people that, like I say, you got so many people, every person that's out, every DJ that's out, every female DJ, and a lot of male DJs, all these DJs are out there, and they're standing on your shoulders as well. So the history is extremely important. And you guys have these tidbits. You guys have all this information that's, like you say, untold. And the best way for it to be documented is to come from the source, not secondhand, third hand, or whatever. Let it come directly from the source. And on top of that, it's good to have it in black and white, but it's even better when the person themselves that was there is actually saying it.
Are you guys recording this show?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt, sir. No doubt. But we could definitely have that. But I would definitely, like I say, I would love to get you, Baby D, all those old school DJs from back in the day, and just really just chop it up and just make this one big thing that can be promoted out there. Get everyone, get that information out there, because there is a lot of, when you start looking at the timeline of hip hop, there's a lot of blank spaces.
Yep.
And those blank spaces, they can be filled, but you just have to engage the people who can fill them.
Yeah.
It's a blank space only if you're talking to the wrong people.
Correct.
Because if you was there, you know the history, you know the fill-ins, you know the gaps, you know who did what when. If you wasn't there, you hear it from, oh, I'm Flash's cousin on his uncle mother's John Jeffrey side. You know what I mean? And then they'll tell you some whole nother story. And then you sitting there wondering like, okay, well, yeah, all right. And you go perpetrating that story. Like, I still don't understand to this day how it is that people get Flash and Theodore, creator of the scratch, mixed up, because Flash didn't create the scratch, but you know what I mean? Talk to the wrong people and they'll tell you, oh, Theodore don't exist, that Flash created the scratch. It's because they heard the story from somebody who wasn't there, didn't witness, and you know what I mean? And so, I salute the Universal Hip Hop Museum for what they doing. And they pretty much have a virtual timeline in the museum, and it's pretty put together very well. I've seen it myself personally, and it is really on point, because Cutman LG, he was there, you know what I mean, along with Bam and the Soul Sonic Force, and you know, and he was young at the time, but he was there, and Rocky was there, you know, he was a DJ back in the day, and you know, Theodore helped with a lot of the input, and a lot of the pioneers came together, and but then there was some that didn't come because, you know, there's always an element of politics in hip hop too, you know, this one don't get along with that one and don't want to do nothing with that one, and I'm not messing with him because he was, you know, trying to holler at my girl in 1972, and you know, so it's just so crazy that, you know, the unification, and when the story gets told, there's a whole lot that's there, but then there's a whole lot that's missing, you know. Right. And like when the pioneers themselves contribute and get it out there, you know, then it'll be able to be pieced together and told the way it's supposed to be told. Right. And you know, that'll be a beautiful day in hip hop, because I look at some of the, you know, some of the new artists that's out here now. They don't know who their predecessors are. They just out here saying I'm hip hop, but you don't have a clue where hip hop started, who was in the first generation of hip hop. You know, you ask a person about Kool Herc, and they'll tell you, oh, he did the first hip hop party. But you know, when you analyze the whole situation, when you make that statement, you excluding Grandmaster Flowers, you excluding Hollywood, you excluding a lot of people that was doing this thing when it wasn't even called hip hop.
Correct.
Yeah, we didn't call it hip hop back then.
Thank you.
We did not call it hip hop back then.
They're saying that it was Cowboy who, because I remember them doing that hip hop.
Yeah. Cowboy.
I mean, I think everybody did that at one point. Busy Bee, they started hip hop shoot. Then you used to see how long you could do that. You see how long you could keep that going. I remember that.
It's funny how the culture didn't get named Hot Butter Popcorn.
Oh yes, Well, say ho.
Word up.
Right.
Where all the holes at? I remember.
Yo.
Well, you know, but
I mean, but the craziness is we had fun.
Yes.
Before it became like crazy, we had fun. That's circles with elements. The B-boys and the B-girls and all of that stuff. Certain records would come on and the circle would just appear out of nowhere, and we had fun.
But don't get us wrong. Now there were fights there, but not like now. We used to fist the cuffs. There weren't no guns shooting at people. Right. It was fist the cuffs.
Yeah.
I mean, you step on somebody's sneakers, you might get your ass.
Oh yeah, you might as well go ahead and just kill yourself.
And don't let it be a pair of British Walkers. Oh, forget about it.
Right.
Yeah.
That beef never goes away.
But the good thing about it though is that you guys can have that fist fight. You guys can throw down, live to see another day, and on top of that, when you guys finish fighting, you guys can shake hands
and drink a 40.
And drink a 40, yep.
And from that point on, you the best of friends.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the way it was back in the day, you know.
And
not saying that there weren't some violent deals, but for the most part, you could do
more
it.
So back in the day, it was about the crews. Everybody had their crews. They had their name belts, the name buckle belts, and your crew's name and all of that.
Mercedes ladies had their yellow sweatshirts with Mercedes ladies, and we bought the gold chains with the Mercedes emblems on it. So you knew us.
Word.
We walked up, you knew who we were.
Exactly.
So it was fun back then, you know, and I really miss it.
It was so much fun. Like I said, I would risk my life getting on that train, that number 2 train by myself to go to the Bronx because I had to have more. Queens, once I started in Queens became too small for me. I needed to go elsewhere.
But I liked Queens though.
I would go to the Bronx and all of this stuff, but because I wanted more. And that I would go to the Ecstasy Garage and all of that stuff. It was more. And that was the crazy part, because then I could come back home to Queens and do what I saw in the Bronx. And they would think that I was the one that, nope, I stole that from somebody I saw playing in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Queen started getting bigger in the second and third generation.
Yeah.
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 It
Yeah.
did.
So
LL and Russell
And yeah,
and Run
once L and Run
DMC.
DMC and them came
Yep.
out,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So
what it was.
To me, Queens was like the suburbs. I mean, I used to hate
Yeah.
going out there because I
Where
had to
all
get
the
on the
rich
train.
people live. All the
Yeah.
rich people was in Queens.
Yep.
mhm.
I
My
used to go to
grandmother
Russell's
lived
house
out
and be
in
like,
Jamaica.
damn.
Word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I live in a project. Y'all live in houses. Hello. You know what the hell? Russell looking at me like, huh?
But
And then when he came to meet my mother, he's
Queens,
like, damn.
Queens had projects, 40
Yeah,
Queens
projects.
they
everybody
had the
I
hood
went to
now.
visit
There
in
was the
Queens
hood
was
out
in
there.
houses.
Yep.
All
Yeah.
their
Yeah,
sets was in the basements and this
Well,
and that. But
That's true. That's true. That's
what
true
was
right
that
there.
project? Oh God, the twins.
40,
We always
there's
had
40
these.
projects on the south side. See, I don't
Okay,
know
that.
about Left Rack and and I don't really know. I just know 40 on my side of town.
It was just this one projects. They used to go there a lot, and I used to just have a ball out there. It was the atmosphere in Queens was different, so I felt a little bit more serene there. You know, I don't know if it was because I was around the twins and Sesame and them, but
So
the Bronx,
it
man,
was
when you
with-
go
if
down
it was
there or
Sesame-
Harlem, you better bring
If it was with Sesame and them, it was probably Queensbridge. Or it's another one, but the twins used to do Queensbridge and play at the Reese Center, Jacoby Reese. When they did stuff.
That I mean, it was a lot of fun. I didn't have too much dealings with Brooklyn because it was Brooklyn. Sorry,
And there was beef with Brooklyn and Queens and beef with
Why
Brooklyn
would
and the
you
Bronx.
say?
And, everybody was hating the other person's hood, and it was just
You know
so
what's
crazy.
the craziness?
You had to get some passes
Craziness.
to go there.
Once everything started growing, people would leave their borough to go to another borough.
Go to the other borough.
To
Yep.
parties. Yep.
Because Harlem was taking off too. Was it Foster Projects?
Mm.
Down there, I used to play
I think that
Foster Projects.
to me, it opened up the city for everybody. Because if you was from Queens, you stayed in Queens. If you was from the Bronx, you basically stayed in the Bronx. But when everything started going off and different MCs and different DJs started crossing lines and going to play other places, I think that's when everything started to open up as far as the boroughs.
Yep.
But you know what's the most memorable for me for New York back then? You can walk from the Bronx to Harlem and not have to worry about getting shot, beat up, dragged on a car, or your stuff stolen.
Right about that.
Yeah,
I would
people don't believe it. I'm like,
that's true.
I would walk across the 145th Street Bridge and 155th Street Bridge. Hell yeah.
38th Street Bridge.
And sometimes I used to sneak in them after hour spots where they used to, guy fishing all them used to be in there playing them damn spades or whatever for money where you better not talk when they were playing.
Whoa.
Yep. Man, you don't say a damn thing when they playing spades for money. Oh my God. Then it
was all about the having a good time.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it was stuff. It was stuff going on, but it was mainly about having a good time because it was so new. Because it was so new, and nobody knew what direction it was going to go in. Everything was changing so quickly.
Right.
And
But
thinking about it now,
I would say this about hip hop. Hip hop promoted a more peaceful culture.
Yep.
Because where, like what you say, just an that example, everyone wanted to have fun. But just think about it. When crews had quote unquote beefs, they went out to the park, they did the jams. You had one crew that was in one corner, the other crew was in the other corner, and they would jam. And then the next thing you know, you hear the other crew bring their music up.
Yep.
And they would try to battle each other out. And then where the DJs, when they battled, then you had the MCs battling. And then in the middle of it all, when they felt that they couldn't handle that business, what do? They got their dancers, they breakers.
Yeah, the break dancers.
And they went to the middle, and you see them pieces of cardboard coming out, and then it was on and popping. And that was the promotion of real hip hop. That was hip hop.
Yes.
Hip hop,
not this crap now, misogynist and all that other stuff
in our culture. And just think about the number of lives hip hop actually saved. I know it saved my life.
I know it saved mine.
So,
Mine too.
so just think about that in itself, and just and that's why I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over. We need to bring all of y'all together. We need to have this big
A
thing
big super jam, right?
and have this big talk. Just put it out there. Fill that all those blank spaces on them timelines.
Right.
Fill those spaces in, and then put it out there. Because of course the museum in DC, beautiful, but the museum has been out there now for what is it, 6, 7, 8 years now, something like that.
The hip hop museum.
It's been out there for a little bit of time right now.
I don't know how long they've been out there, but they just inducted
the African
American Museum, but
in Washington.
Yeah, in Washington D.C. But
they got a hip hop wing.
Yeah, they got a hip hop.
Okay.
Wing, but a lot of people still haven't visited that, right? So you get something to where all of y'all are coming together like on a Zoom, being able to talk about everything and fill those timelines, and then being able to share that as a video when people walking through that hip hop wing, and actually putting a face to the name.
Now that's the thing.
Geechee
Dan will get that done.
This is where I'm going with this. That's what I'm saying, and that's why I say this is what this group does. The DJ Information Group, this is what we do, in terms of, and that's why I say we want to continue to stay plugged into the culture and into the history. And by bringing the greats like you guys together and doing these types of things and getting even more greats and getting all the legends in here to talk about stuff from day one, all the way up to when things started changing. Right?
Tony Crush.
Boom. And then go from there. You know what I mean? The whole dealio. It was just a few weeks ago, we had Tony Crush. Tony Crush was on here. He was talking and just sharing all kinds of stuff.
I told you I wanted to be the female. I wanted to be the female Tony Crush.
Let me
always tell him that.
Let me tell you, there's actually, believe it or not, there is one person that if you get that person on that show, he will give you the whole history of hip hop from every borough. And his name is Biz Markie. That is the hip hop historian for real.
How is he doing?
I'm gonna say, how is he doing?
I don't know.
He's keeping it private.
He's keeping it private.
Biz has every cassette tape, every
for real.
He is ridiculous with it. He collects all of that stuff. I remember one time he called me and he got my number from JDL from the Cold Crush, and he called me. He said, Lady Luck. I said, yeah. He was like, this is Biz. I was like, what? Biz? Biz. First I'm like, oh my God, I'm talking to Biz. And he said, Lady Luck, where you get that instrumental from Funky President? He said, I need that. I said, now, once he said that, I got all cool. I'm like, oh, you need that from me? Okay, sure. I said, I need a song from you. And he was like, what? And it was the song that he did that I didn't have. So he was like, okay, you give me that and I'll give you that. I was like, okay, Biz. So he was like, Lady Love, don't play with me. I said, no, I got you. I sent him the track and he didn't send me my track. So I seen him in the park and I'm like, Biz, you ain't send me my track. He grabbed me by the neck. He was like, Lady Love, I'll wrestle you to the ground. He said, you know I'm gonna send you that track.
I'll wrestle you to the ground.
I was like, okay, Biz, okay. But he knows they should have him do a thing because he knows so much. Biz remembers so much. And like I said, he's a collector of flyers and tapes and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I would like everybody.
Definitely a keeper of the timeline.
I would like
Somebody should reach out.
I would like everybody to, send a prayer to Biz. Biz, been sick.
Yeah.
Months.
Yep.
He's here in Maryland, so I hear back and forth from different guys that, that see him. He's still battling, doing his thing or whatever. I mean, for his health, but let's pray for a speedy recovery for Biz Markie.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
But yeah, we can most definitely get that going for sure, And
Okay.
it would be great if we could, like I say, we're definitely gonna pray for my brother because, I've always been a big Biz fan. And I watched him, I follow him on Facebook when he was one of the only ones that had the 45 turntables.
Exactly.
So
Mhm.
and he would
Exactly.
every Saturday you could catch Biz doing a set. Every Saturday you would catch him doing up in the morning doing his set. And I always watched. And when I heard that he was sick, I was like, man, so I've been praying for him since then,
Yes.
and we definitely want to do that. But we would love if there was, and hopefully he has a speedy recovery. And when he does, being able to connect with him as well. And also circling back around to you guys as well, just, connecting with everybody that you guys know to kind of, and I know we can't have all the legends on at one time. For new
It's a Zoom call. Sure you
yeah.
can.
Yeah, but
Yeah, because
then, like, hey, Charlie Rock, like you said,
There's a limit.
some of them,
Is there a
some of them
limit
gonna be
to
like,
Zoom?
I ain't coming on there if they on there, kind of,
yeah, that
we'd
is
have
so
to be-
That's true.
stupid.
we'd have to worry about getting
Mm-hmm.
separate ones, but the core, get as many on as possible where we
Right.
can actually quarterback this thing and get this thing going and just really lay out that timeline and have that recording and then be able to contact the African American Museum and say, hey, look at this.
Mm.
This
Right.
this right here needs to go in your hip hop corridor. Because
Mm.
this is the history. As a matter of fact,
Or
this
or
is
make it,
American
or you
life
can make
right
it, you can make it accessible to everybody instead of having it in one location.
Oh, no doubt.
You
Yeah,
can
see,
make it accessible to everybody.
and see, the goal is, for example, with something like this, if we're able to do something like that, and we get it in the museum, of course, that's going to create a buzz. Then that could turn into anything. It could turn into a documentary. That could turn into multiple other interviews. That
The
could
next
turn
movie.
into the next movie.
Yeah.
That could be the next Crush Groove. You get what I'm saying?
Bigger
Yeah.
But 10 times, 1,000 times bigger. You get
and more accurate.
and more accurate, exactly. So those are the types of things that can happen, and I'm glad we're having this conversation now.
Oh, you know who's another one you could get? You know who's another one?
Who's that?
And this guy goes all the way back to day one because him and Grandmaster Flash was partners. Mean Gene, Theodore's brother.
Yeah, I'm in contact with Mean Gene.
Yeah, you get Mean
Yeah, he
Gene
knows
on
a
there,
lot.
he could
He
tell
kn-
you,
he
oh
knows
my
a-
God.
Yeah, but sometimes he goes
knows
off
a
the
lot.
rail
He
because
knows
he
a lot.
dreams. Okay, sometimes he goes off the rail.
Well, when he's doing his business, he's still doing his business. Yo.
Right? Yeah.
You just gotta
He
reel
was-
him back in. That's all. You
He
just gotta
trying,
reel
He's
him
trying
back
to
funny
get
as
his
hell,
book.
though.
He trying to get his book out.
Yeah,
Oh, I
so
didn't know he's-
and like I say, we welcome, because we know we connect to a lot of, and we engage is a proper term. We engage a lot of legends, but we don't have the connection like you guys have, where you guys could actually connect to them and say, hey, come on here, let's talk about this, because y'all are part of the group. Y'all are family now. So
Right.
you come on, y'all can say, hey, Square Knot, Flash, BB, Storm, any of us. Hey, we got somebody and we're gonna bring them on here and they're gonna drop these jewels. And with all these different we record all this stuff. And we have
Okay.
this stuff here. So, and we always share the recordings with whoever's on the group. And plus we put them on YouTube for people to understand and for people to listen to, so that they get that. But just being able to have that, like I say, that one big timeline and just adding and plugging in those blank spots for these ones who, like you say, these of today. Charlie Rock brought up a good point. Some of the ones today, they don't even know. And when you ask who's Kool Herc, or when you say who is this or who is that, and they go, who cares? What?
Right.
Wow.
I can't believe that came out of your mouth. You
Exactly.
wouldn't be doing what you're doing had it not been for them. You know what I mean?
Word up.
Right.
So
Word
things
up.
like that. So when you are able to do that, that just brings that it's kind of reinforcement to what hip hop and the culture actually is. So I ask you, and on behalf of the DJ Information Group, we ask you, please don't hesitate to engage all of whom you know, and bring them so that we can have a conversation, we can talk, we can do. Lady Love, you know, we sit back, we enjoying all of this right now. This is great, you know. We Baby D, she came.
Well, I thank
she
you
is a
guys for
black person.
having
She's
me.
been with us. So,
I definitely thank you guys for having me.
yes. So, but yeah, most definitely. Then Charlie Rock coming on. Hey, this is really, really beautiful for this to happen. So
you know, it was funny. I was going to say, hey,
put that out
interview Charlie Rock. Well, here you go.
Yeah, so I definitely want to throw that out there.
Charlie Rock was one of them wallflower dudes.
But you know, it's the wallflowers that take in the most.
Pretty much.
Hey,
Yep.
hey, you soak it in, man. You know, or you're like a sponge while you're sitting there, just soaking it all in.
Yeah.
Man, I remember so many parties at 23 Park and flashing them coming out there. Oh, Lord.
Let me ask you, do you remember the battle? Were they, I don't know if Flash was Grandmaster Flash and Theodore was a wizard yet, but remember that epic battle them two had, and Theodore broke out Super Sperm and did that scratch and just floored everybody. Flash gave up. Flash he couldn't do it. Because Flash was Flash. He was fast.
Exactly. He was fast.
But he wasn't a cutter. Right.
Oh man.
He was not he was not a scratcher. He was fast. And I was like so happy to learn from both of them because I'm fast and I scratch.
I used to live right down the block on Union Avenue. So I was at a lot of them jams, yo. I was, man, you kidding me? I couldn't wait for the next one to come. Like it was, you know how back in the days at Tuesday in school, you thinking about the jam on the weekend.
Yep.
Where the jam gonna be on Friday? Webster. Where the next jam gonna be on Saturday? T-Connect. Where the next jam gonna be? You know what I mean?
Bronx River.
And there was no internet. There was no internet.
No word of mouth and flyers.
Well, you know what I want to do? I want to get a Zoom going with DJ Big Body, DJ Lady Love, and Baby D, and we all have like 30-minute sets.
What the hell you want? What you want me?
We gonna get Baby. We gonna get Baby D up out there. We gonna put her on
playing music or talking.
Here we gave Baby
D.
D.
Charlie, everybody's asking me to come back out.
A year, damn it, a year.
Well, see, that's the other thing. I don't know if BB shared with you, but here we go again. This group, we created something. Flash created something, and he said, you know what? I want to bring a bunch of DJs together, and we're going to just play for 30 minutes each. We have a monthly spinathon, and we just had an all-female spinathon where we had.
I know it. DJ Big Body told me, and I was out, and she hit me up, and she was like, "Lady Love, tune in." I'm like, "But I'm not at home."
So what you're talking about there is not a problem. We could set that up. We can add that into a.
No, it's a problem. I ain't ready yet.
Why not? What you need?
Why not?
What you missing?
We got you on music. Come on now. You need music. We got you.
2 more songs.
Gave me some music. But you know, I have to get back into it now. You know, I'm coming from vinyl into what you guys are doing. I have to learn it.
So what you need you need like a month.
Oh, thank you.
We said a year. We said a year.
A month.
Oh,
we said a year.
No, yo.
No, I got my new mark. I got my laptop. I got that. I got my little teeny tiny speakers. Look, I got enough to whereas the way we used to do it back in the days, if we had 10 cans, God damn it, we playing it. So I got it. So I got it enough.
Hey, so okay, so let's say after the holiday. Because I know everybody's busy for the holiday. How about after the holiday?
No problem. But Square Knot's gonna have to bring his equipment down here.
I got you.
Where you at?
I'm in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
You're only an hour and 15 minutes away from me. I told you I can come down. I can bring some stuff down, and we can practice.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start doing that.
I got you. I got you.
I won't take no jobs on Saturdays and Sundays.
I think we should do that.
And it's just like riding a bike. You ain't lost nothing. Long as you
I
can count
definitely
the
didn't lose
four.
my ear. Yeah.
Long as you can count the four, you get in there.
Oh yeah.
what
Oh
we
yeah.
do is-
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. But in
Bam,
my
yeah.
case, sometimes it went 1, 2, and I got it. Right on
You
through.
know?
So
And
yeah.
and think about it like this too, Lady Love. You can call in some more of your old school, some more of the old school DJs, and make it an old school female joint. You know, any of that, and then that'll be the spin-a-thon. Put it out there, and we got it. You don't have to worry about any of the back end stuff as far as the Zoom is concerned. We can take care of that on our end. You know, so that's what we do. You have to go and look at our YouTube channel, and you'll see exactly what we do.
I got you.
Because that's constantly what we're doing. We always promote because we believe that DJs should come together and support one another and just really, you know, and uplift each other. And no DJ, we don't look at it as one DJ is better than the other. Everyone,
I think everybody has their different set of style and how they
style. Everyone has a different style, and so that's your deal. That's your niche. So but we're here to help to do all that, and that's what it is. So
no pressure, though. No pressure.
All is
no pressure. No pressure, baby. No pressure.
Yeah.
The spin-a-thon, when you do it on YouTube or you do it on live or Instagram, or what platform do you do it on?
We do it on Zoom, and then what we do is we invite everyone to come into the Zoom, because we found out, of course, with Facebook doing that deal, they started cutting us off. And then on YouTube has now started blocking. They don't even go. They used to would just monetize the music, even if you didn't. Of course, they say you don't own the copyright.
Copyright,
So they would monetize it for you, but they would let it stay. Now they just straighten out blocking it. So with Zoom, so what we do now is with Zoom, we have all the DJs come in. We teach them how to make sure they get the best sound out of Zoom, because there is some techniques to it. And then once you got that all set up and done, then what we got, we have sound checks a couple times that particular week. And then what we do is get the DJ all set up and ready to go. And we do the full recording. Each DJ has 30 minutes. We let them know, and it becomes like, while one DJ is playing, we got another one. When they get down to the 5 minutes, we put the other DJ on deck. At 2 minutes, we let them know what the deal is. And then when that DJ cuts out, the next DJ comes in. But they have their own individual recording. Plus, we have someone else who records the whole thing as well in one piece.
With video, or just them sending a recording of music?
No, it's video. You see the DJ at work.
Nice.
So we do that. And then after that, hey, you know, it's there.
That's once a month y'all do it?
We do it once a month.
Wow, that's dope.
And we've been doing it since, since July? We started that back in July timeframe. So we've been doing it for a little bit now, and it's been working out. We bought the largest spin-a-thon we've had now is 20 DJs. 20 DJs, nice. And we were on for
10 hours.
10,
about 11 hours to be exact.
Yep. So we had a good time though. But yeah, we could definitely do it. Would love to see you guys play. Would love to see Lady Love play. Yes, indeed. Definitely, we want to get DJ Baby D there for sure.
No doggone
is always working.
No sweats at all. Good grief.
No pressure, girl. No pressure.
Let's just set up some time, Baby D, for me to come down to your house.
You
I'll
got a whole year.
And or Baby D, check it out.
You say that one more time.
Baby D, better yet, check it out.
A whole year. I agree with Big Body. A whole year.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's a long time.
Baby D, check this out. You could even come here. You and your husband, come here. You can come up here. I got 3 setups all that stay set up right now. 2 sets of tables, and I got a controller already set up, ready to go. All you got to do is walk over to one of those setups, power it on, and we ready to go. Because all of them have laptops.
You gotta show me how to, download the music down into it and all that other stuff. Because I'm kind of getting it on my own.
That's what we're here for. So we got you. We got got you.
I told
You
you what
should
you
have
need.
seen you.
Inbox, I got you.
You should have seen me when I first came back, right? And I didn't know nothing about Serato, nothing. And I called myself doing something, and my first mix was horrible because I had to learn I had to get used to it because it's so. And the thing is, it's so easy. But when you're used to playing one way, and then somebody throws in the laptop thing and all of that, and it turns out it wasn't as hard as I thought. It was me. It was
Right.
It was
That's what Wells told me. She was like, you know, it's you. She said you'll get it. Once you get it, you'll be like, what was I afraid of? You know.
Yo.
So
and that's exactly how I was. I was so oh my God, it was crazy. And then once I did get it, I was just like, well, what was so, hard about this? It's just like, to me, because I had the 1200s, it was just like playing on my turntables. Except now my music was all in my laptop.
Right. Okay.
So you'll get it.
I remember the first time I saw Serato it was Jazzy J playing at Tools of War, and I was like, Jay,
seen that.
You just played a whole freaking set and didn't change the record not one time. What the hell you know that I don't know? He started telling me like, oh, you didn't know this is Serato and and he was one of the inventors, in the lab with Rain and the company like that. And I was looking, and he had a Serato box. They didn't even have the mixes out at that time. And I was like, oh, snap, this is next level. But it was really like, it's not hard to get the concept of it. Just, just hook up, get your laptop together, get your hard drive if you need it, or, whatever you want to play in your set.
Don't make the mistake of loading all your music into your laptop. Make sure you get external hard drive.
I have the external hard drive.
I learned the lesson the hard way. My laptop crashed.
So did a couple other people.
I lost everything.
I'm gonna get
right. I've got music. I got the old school music on a stick. I got other music for my hard drive. Flash sent me stuff. So, damn, God, I'm all over the place. I gotta get it all on the hard drive.
That's a nice setup.
Baby D.
Oh, look at that.
There you go. It's all waiting for you right there.
Wow.
All you got to do is come through.
Where's the Moscato?
I got my new mark on the left.
Under the table.
I put a controller right there in the front, and then I got my reloop and my Rain 70 on the back.
Okay.
So, like I said, I'm ready. This is where I do my work at.
Okay. Okay.
All you got to do is come up.
Just get the Moscato, maybe some barbecue.
Hey, I yes.
Lady Shed, the Lady Shed.
Plus, my wife has she's shed.
Huh?
Okay, well, I definitely enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, this has been great.
All the braids out of my hair.
I know we kept you a lot longer than you expected. It was actually 3 hours.
It was
3 hours.
great. It was great.
But we learned so much.
Thank you.
And it is truly to have a blessing and an honor to have a legend like yourself on as well. And just
thank you.
That
and thank you, my Shiro baby D, for being here.
You're welcome. And my baby Big Body.
Yes.
Is she still there? Are you woke?
Yes, she is. We definitely gotta say thank you to her. Thank you, DJ Big Body.
But now we gotta do her a favor and work on getting
and
shot.
Thank you to everybody.
Yeah.
I appreciate this. I definitely had a great time.
It was a blast. It was fun.
As I say,
one last question.
Family now. So my last question. Oh, Flash, you got another question?
One question.
Go ahead.
Is we all good your tagline?
What tagline?
We all good.
Yeah. Oh, me?
Yes.
No.
I want to show you, cause I was just watching something and I noticed DJ Lady Love, we all good.
Oh, it's supposed to be we all we got.
Okay.
That's from my GMC. So we all we got.
Gotcha. So I always ask this question as the very last question. And that question is, what homework do you have for us?
What homework? Man, I don't know, because you had everything. You had my flyers. You had everything. I don't even. You did more research on me than I ever did. So
Wow.
I don't have no only homework I have is for us to try to put this thing together.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I promise you, I give you my word that if you need something from this group and you need help from me, you need help from Flash, you need help from BB, all the other DJs that are on here, we can help you. So, and what we say, we do. So that's what this group
Well,
is
see
about.
now, I'm gonna be calling DJ Big Body BB. Hey, BB.
That's right. I gave her that name in this group. I was sitting there one day and I said, Big Body, do you mind if I call you BB? She said, yeah, you can call me BB. And ever since then,
well, I'm calling her BB too.
Well, she my big body baby, so I ain't calling you BB because I got 3 B's in there.
I'm gonna share this.
It's fine.
Love, I just sent you a friend request so you know.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
You'll get a few.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you gonna get a few requests.
You're gonna get a few requests.
So
I forgot about that.
definitely, we are here for you. And just let us know. And like I said, I'm serious.
Let me tell y'all.
Okay.
Y'all gotta send me the friend request, okay? Because there's so many on there that because I'm bad with that. So when you send it to me and they all come in, I just click confirm.
Yeah, I just
okay. So everybody, everybody send it to
I
me
think
now.
it's Courtney again because we got the same last name, so no relation.
Okay.
No relation, but we got the same last name. You can be like James again. I thought I got her as a friend.
I sent it about an hour ago, 2 hours, might be 2 hours ago.
Okay. Once I get off of here, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna accept everybody's friend request.
All right. So we got
we got work. We got work to do.
Yes.
Tonight's show is sponsored by Rain unofficially.
Oh, Pioneer.
You ain't gonna
Hold
let
up.
that go.
You're gonna see my face. You're gonna see my face. Pioneer. Pioneer twin. Pioneer. Pioneer, goddamn it. New market Pioneer.
Now on Lady Love on Facebook, you are on Lady Love as DJ Lady.
Denise Briggs. No, because Facebook made me use my government name.
They
I was
did the same
DJ
thing to
Lady Love,
me.
and then one day they was like, "You have to prove who you are."
Yeah.
And I was like,
name is Briggs. Oh Lord.
They did the same thing to me.
You said Denise Briggs.
Yeah, BRIGGS.
Okay, I got you now. I
I think you could put DJ Lady Love in too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it says
If you got it in parentheses, it'll come up.
Yeah, it says Denise Briggs, DJ Lady
Got it.
Love. Gotcha.
Yeah, I
Got it.
Yeah,
I put it in the chat too.
gotcha. So we got you.
Thank you.
And Charlie Rock, you on Facebook?
Yes, I am.
And how are you on there?
Charlie Brown. But if you put in DJ Charlie Rizzock, RZOCK, you'll get me.
Okay, let me make sure that
because that's my Instagram.
DJ Charlie
RZOCK Rizzock.
Okay, Charlie Rizzock.
Brown. Last name is Brown.
DJ Charlie.
Yes, this was a great Wednesday hump day thing going on.
Yeah.
I definitely. Yes, it was very, very. I'm here, but I'm like, it was very informative.
We
And
had
there's
more fun
Corona
on this
going
call
on.
than we did with Chuck Chill Out and Van Socken. We laughing more.
And because of the Corona, ain't nobody got to go to work tomorrow.
Well, I'm going to get
Well,
these naps done.
I do. Goddamn it.
I've been
Not
working
me.
the whole pandemic.
Oh boy.
So have I.
I work the whole
Essential
pandemic.
workers.
Good for you.
Congrats.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Nah, I'm that person you pay $500 to when you move out of your rental. And
Oh
it needs to
boy.
be clean and you need to pass it to get your security deposit back.
We not,
Call
Mm,
me. You
oh,
fuck
gee.
out them 5 bills.
nice.
We're not gonna talk about what my career is because most people get scared. So we're gonna leave that.
What is your career?
I'm
I put
scared,
people in the
goddammit.
ground.
You what?
I put people in the ground for a living.
Oh,
Whoa,
you
the
do what my daughter.
Undertaker.
You do what my daughter wants to do. Well, she wants to be a mortician.
I'm a licensed funeral. Well, I'm a licensed mortician.
That's what
Nice,
she's going to school for.
Yeah, my
She
uncle.
loves that.
nice.
It's a family business. My uncle's a funeral
My
director.
And you
my
always
sister
gonna
like
have
that.
customers.
Nice.
Yeah. I've been doing
Nice.
it since I was 16, cleaning up the funeral home.
Wow.
Well, I don't have a career except as DJ. I'm retired.
Mhm.
DJ Lady
I
Love.
was retired too. I do this on the
DJ Lady
side.
Love is my job right now.
Yeah. I'm trying to finish this and become full time. You know, that's a goal.
Wait,
Where
I just forgot what I was about to say.
I'm in New York. I'm in
The,
upstate New York.
pitch is made.
You're not gonna be a
before
mayor? You're not
I was
gonna be a
about to
mayor?
say-
I'm in the politics game, but we ain't going there.
Let me
Really, sis? You're not trying to be the mayor, sis?
hold
Come
on.
on now.
Let me end the recording first, just to make sure we capture this closing, and then from that we can continue to talk for sure.
Okay.
Because this will be great to continue to have you, because this is just so much fun to me. I'm really having a blast with this. But we're gonna say it like this: we have this legend here, came here, dropped the jewels on us again. History. There's nothing like being able to be plugged into the culture and being able to be plugged into the history of the hip hop culture. And then you have someone like this queen has come in here and done for us and has really talked about and given us some truths. That's the key. Truths about the way things are, and filled in some of the gaps on the timeline, just to keep us a little bit further and learn more about the next steps in hip hop and how we continue to stand on the shoulders of these greats like herself. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you for coming. Thank you for the invite. I'm gonna say thank you for accepting that invite.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Yes, I would clap, but my hands knee deep in naps.